Oh, here we are again. Happy Monday, everybody. Heidi Glaus with Bob Ramsey, Josh Gilbert. I hope you had a fantastic Easter. It turned out to be a beautiful afternoon, and hopefully you were able to spend it with family and friends. Let me tell you what we have coming up on this Easter Monday. First up, we'll talk to the Director of Operations and Programs of Bright Point, and they have a fundraiser coming up April 18th, but we're going to tell you what Bright Point really does. April, in case you did not know, was Child Abuse Prevention Month. So they say, of course, prevention is key, but how do you prevent child abuse? And we'll talk to them about that, and maybe if there's some signs to look for. We'll also check in with Rich Frankel, ABC News, former special agent in charge, FBI, how the joint U.S. forces and Iranians helped find a downed airman. And this is just kind of a crazy story, and the way that he was able to make his way into this crevice in the mountain and then stay put. It's just seems like something that you'd see in a movie. So we'll talk about that, right? And the 4 o'clock, we'll talk to Ryan Krull, St. Louis Magazine. He's covering several different stories. One is about the St. Louis City street bump outs. They kind of carved these out, and they've done something similar on Shoto near Lafayette Square, but now they're removing them because they said it was kind of causing congestion where they were doing this. So we'll get the latest on that story. We'll also talk about a chapel that is being demolished. It was a historic chapel, so we'll find out the history and why it's being torn down. And then there is also a cat update. Last week when we talked to Ryan, he was in Forest Park talking about a cat, not just up in a tree, but I guess the tree had been hollowed out and this cat had gotten in there and was struggling to get out. So we will get a cat update from Ryan. We'll also check in with Brendan Weezy to talk a little sports. You've got the men's national championship tonight, and I just hope it's a better game than the women's championship yesterday afternoon. It was a blowout.
Didn't see that coming.
No one did. I mean, if you would have looked, and Josh, I'm sure you did, on all of the money lines, South Carolina, it wasn't even a bet that UCLA, but those seniors stepped up, and Coach Glaus has been there building a program for a while. So
her story is really interesting.
It really is.
Loyalty to John Wooden.
Yep.
And it was a pretty neat story in the center, the 6'7".
Oh
kid.
my gosh.
Her name escapes me. She's really
Lauren
good.
Betts.
Yeah, Lauren
And
Betts.
Absolutely. Yeah. South Carolina couldn't do anything with her there in the middle, so they had to kind of change their game. So we'll talk about sports. And then in the 5 o'clock, I don't know if you guys saw this story or not, but drones are now delivering blood to area hospitals. And so we're going to talk to the president and CEO of Mid-America Transplant. And I think it's like blood samples so that then the organs can maybe get there a little faster. But we'll talk about this because if I'm reading things correctly, we're the first to offer this. And it seems also that this has to be a little bit cheaper than the ways we've done it in the past. So anyway, we'll get that full story. We'll also check in with Jordana Miller, ABC News journalist who is there in Jerusalem, get the latest. And then we've got some entertainment news, and we'll wrap this show up with some randoms. Did you guys have a good Easter, Josh? Finn is in that sweet spot when it comes to hunting Easter eggs.
And I don't know what we're going to do with all this candy because we did an Easter egg hunt at my mom's, and then we went over to my wife's mom's, and they had 200 plus eggs.
Oh my goodness!
I'm not even going to begin to count the amount of eggs that Finn opened. The ones with the scratches and the cash, great.
Yeah.
But all
you
this
mean for
candy,
you or for him?
For everyone.
Are
for
you
Finn's
one of those
teeth.
dads that maybe steal a little bit of Finn's money and then put an IOU back into
the money.
egg?
No, the money thing, I'm pretty good with that.
Okay. You
Right.
put it in his little bank account?
I feel like Bob Costas had a story where his dad was a degenerate gambler.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it.
Not me.
Okay.
Even though I did want to bet on South Carolina, I forgot, and thank God I did.
Yeah.
But we had a great Easter, and I need to clean out all the Halloween and Christmas and Valentine's Day candy because the candy drawer is exploding.
Well, here's what's interesting, because even though my niece and nephew are 18 and 20, they do still get an Easter basket from their parents and then from,
The bunny.
well, my parents. And I walk in and there are 3 eggs with money at my mom and dad's house. I'm like, these are all Claire's? Like, there are 3 of them. And I'm like, I'm just going to take a little money out of this. But she came in and caught me, so I wasn't able to. Anyway.
Caught.
Yeah. I kind of love this. My sister and brother-in-law, had a bunch of eggs, but they just went down to the basement and they found like the old Easter basket that had some of the candy. Like, Claire opened up some of it and it was like a Reese's peanut butter cup that expired in like 2019 when they were actually little. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, it's always good when you pick up that little egg and you could hear the change rattling in it.
Oh, yes.
Or better yet, if there was nothing and it was a couple
It was $1.
dollars. Yeah.
I asked Finn, I thought this was really funny. I said, what'd you get in that one? And he said, cash. I go, oh, who taught you that word?
Cash.
Cash, not money, but cash. But you guys, I sent you a couple of pictures and videos from our weekend.
Fantastic
Beautiful.
weekend.
Supposed to go to Grant's Farm. That's been our new Easter Saturday tradition, and it was just a little too gloomy and rainy for us to do it. And my niece was having a little birthday party, at something called Slick City, which they opened up a new
You
location.
thought you could go in there and play some poker or something.
Yeah, a guy named Slick. He's dealing out.
This is the second location here in St. Louis, right? It's pretty popular.
Second location. The first one is Chesterfield, which back behind the Valley Strip Mall is the Goodwill. I knew that was back there. But now in all those warehouse spaces, it's all kid stuff.
Oh,
it's a
it's
dance academy.
crazy.
And it's Slick City and a rock climbing wall and another kid's place and the cheerleading camp. So we went to that one and then realized we were at the wrong one.
Oh, oops.
So then we drove by the one by our house, which was 10 minutes away. It's in the old Joann's Fabrics at Mid Rivers Mall. It's called Slick City, and there's probably like 10 to 15 slides.
And how steep are these slides and how fast are these slides?
So steep and so fast. And we were there for a kid's birthday. It took Finn about 15 minutes to kind of warm up. He was super scared. And then I went up to a slide where you can go side by side. His problem is you're supposed to go down head first. And he's a butt guy.
Yeah.
Butt first guy. And so he finally went down one. And as soon as he got to the bottom, I said, "Did you have fun?" And then I looked over. He already picked up his mat and
running.
rounded the corner.
Back in line.
Back up the stairs.
You just got to do it once, right?
And then he rode every single slide in that place multiple times. But it was so fun. And I want to say that my wife, of all people, had more fun than anybody.
No.
Actually on the slides?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I send you the videos of her?
I don't think you did.
She had more fun
That's great.
than anybody.
Do all the slides require a mat? Remember when you would go to a carnival and you'd like be on a burlap
They give you the
sack
burlap
that you
sack.
go down? So what are you on when you're on these slides?
A fancy version of the burlap sack.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to use a mat for every single slide. But it was a lot of fun.
Are there bumps in it? Is it straight
Sometimes.
down?
Sometimes.
Was it the kind of circular
They
twirl?
had one toilet bowl one.
Yeah.
Where you ring around the bowl and drop out. See, that's the first one I took him on, and then he was like, "No." My wife's like, "Why'd you take him on the scariest one?"
I was going to ask the same question.
But then, he warmed up, and it was great. And I think, guys, fingers crossed, you'll be getting your invitation to Finn's 6th birthday party at the Slick City.
Until Daddy sees how much the bill is.
Come one, come all. No, Mommy's paying for that.
Okay.
But I did, I'm having fun on these things, and there's all these teenagers working the place, making sure that everybody's being safe. I said, "Hey, do you guys ever hang out after hours?" And he goes, "Of course we do."
Duh.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great job.
Somebody said Finn probably called it cash because they don't really know what money is. He only sees adults using a card to buy things. Most kids nowadays have no idea what the coins even are.
Well, it's funny. He held up and he goes, "Dad, I got a quarter." And I said, "Let me look at that." It was a $50.
Ooh, nice.
That one I did put in my pocket.
Oh, this is no good, Finn. Let me take this
Let
for
Daddy
you.
have
This is
that.
too big to be a quarter. It looks counterfeit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of money, did you see that St. Louis made the most affordable cities to buy a home in? as
Oh, the
far as
list?
the United States. Yeah, the top 10 most affordable cities to buy a home in for 2026. We are number 2.
Oh, wow.
Right behind Buffalo, which you're not a fan of. But you got Kansas City at number 8, Birmingham, Alabama, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Detroit. But I'm happy that we're on the list for something good.
Is there a lot of Rust Belt cities in there?
I mean, a lot of
Baltimore,
Midwest
yeah.
cities is what I would say. And
Baltimore has similar problems that we do. If only we could get off that crime list.
well, I would say Indy is a great city. Kansas City is doing great. I'm happy that we're in that list as far as that goes.
And that's what you want when you're trying to attract new business. So Greater St. Louis Inc.
This is affordable.
Yeah.
can tout it.
Come in.
Absolutely. And then speaking of Cincinnati, you guys watched WKRP in Cincinnati, right? Back in
I knew I wanted to be in radio. Yeah.
Right? It was so much fun. And who's the sales guy that had those plaid jackets?
Tyler.
Herb. Yeah.
Who
Well,
was Les Nessman?
He was the
The
newsman.
nerdy
Yeah.
news guy?
the news guy. Well, there's finally going to be an actual radio station in Cincinnati with those call letters.
Great.
WKRP. There aren't really any further details, but of course, we all know that the classic sitcom ran from 78 to 82, and a great show. But I guess I just thought that probably was call letters at some point that then they stole for the show, but no.
Yeah, Les, I believe, was 5-time Buckeye Newsman of the Year.
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that.
I can't believe they don't have that trademarked or copyrighted or something. I mean, obviously that's an FCC thing, but I can't
To
believe.
apply for the letters.
Yeah.
Who was Andy? Who was
Who's the guy with the sunglasses?
Johnny
Johnny Thunders.
Well, Andy was the program director.
Yes. And I'm trying to think. I think
I
it
can't
was
think of the actor's name.
him. I think he was in a musical and here at the Fox years ago, which was kind of fun. And it's always great to see when those, you see them in one kind of area as a character and you don't know that they can sing and dance and do everything else.
Yeah, that's my favorite, of course. And remember, high school, college years, Dr. Johnny Fever, Howard Hessman was my guy.
Johnny
He's the
Fever.
guy with the sunglasses and the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got Lonnie Anderson.
Well,
I
everybody
mean,
talks about Lonnie Anderson, but the old timers like Bob, I've never seen the show.
old timers.
But the way back guys that used to watch it all the time and were
Bailey
in
Quarters.
all the radio
Somebody
people.
just said that the best.
Yes, talk about Bailey. And it's like, wasn't Lonnie Anderson the big
whatever.
sex symbol? And everybody, no, Bailey was the one we all liked.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's kind of fun that that's actually going to be a station. I'll bet they'll be able to do all kinds of interviews because people are going to say, I want to be on WKRP.
And they've
Let's-
got to do the turkey drop.
Oh, you have to, right? There's so many of those things that you have to just kind of pull out.
What's the format going to be?
It doesn't really say much of anything.
I mean, top 40, it's got to be classic rock,
I
right?
would think classic rock, although
Did they have the real music on the TV show?
there was very little. I don't think so.
Like
because that
coming
would have been too
into and out
expensive.
of scenes
That
and
would
all
have been
that?
too expensive, I think. I can't recall that. And then Venus Flytrap.
Oh,
he was he
yeah.
was the smooth, cool jazz guy. Nice.
Can you imagine writing the show and coming up with all of those names?
spectacular.
So here's kind of the backstory to this. DP McIntyre runs a nonprofit that's been using those call letters for a low power station in Raleigh, North Carolina since 2015. Before that, they'd been used in Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee. But McIntyre recently made a deal to sell them to someone who's finally bringing WKRP to the city that made those letters famous, but they don't know anything else.
I'm living on the air in Cincinnati.
Yes.
Cincinnati, WKRP.
Be in Cincinnati. Yeah, well, you guys know what we have coming up here on this Monday edition of the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob and Josh on the Big 550. I hope you'll hang out with us here on this Monday afternoon.
For all of your travel needs, you go to the best travel agency in the world. Granted, I'm a little biased. Altair Travel and Cruises. They'll take you wherever you want to go in style. They'll handle all the details. You handle all the fun. Don't go to the Googles. Don't make that mistake. It all starts at Altair Travel and Cruises on Brentwood Boulevard, 968-9600. Anywhere you want to go, let Altair Travel take you. AltairTravel.com.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis to help improve my home when it matters most. It's not just Pella's high-quality windows and doors. It's the local experts who know the St. Louis area so well. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects or 0% no payments, no interest if paid in full within 24 months. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. 833-87-PELLA or Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Lori's Shoes on Manchester Road in Glendale is celebrating 75 years as a family-owned and operated traditional sit-and-fit shoe store with a dedicated team, including 3 on-staff podorthists. Lori's Shoes has an unbelievable selection of thousands of pairs of shoes for men, women, and children with brands like Brooks, Hoka, New Balance, Birkenstock, Keen, and more. Lori's has been a great fit for St. Louis since 1951. Online at loriesshoes.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. That time of year, we are very busy. That means we're selling vehicles faster than I can acquire them. We're aggressively purchasing unique, interesting, and pristine vehicles. I love to buy Corvettes, Vipers, Porsches, and the like. We buy luxury and performance vehicles daily. Got one to sell? Call us or hop on our site. Owe money on it still? No problem. We'll make the payoff and cut you an equity check. I'll buy classics and motorcycles too. We'll even buy entire car collections. I'll come to you if it's easier. We make it quick and simple. Of course, I've got great ones to sell too. All hand-picked by me, thoroughly vetted and serviced. So if you're buying or selling, give us a call or visit our site today.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Carney, Buck.
Tuesday on the program, we talk sports with Frank Cusimano. I wouldn't be surprised if he rolled in here in an office chair.
Ready to race. Also, we'll talk dining with the dining editor of St. Louis Magazine, George Mahey.
And family can be fun or trying. I imagine it's okay for this one family that's hit all 50 states.
We'll chat about it. See you at noon.
John Carney, Julie Buck. Weekdays at noon on KTRS. The talk of St. Louis.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
I think this was a fun theme song. Somebody on the text line said, I feel so old. The WKRP cast are either in their 80s or have passed.
That's the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we could go down that rabbit hole a lot when you're talking about all of the shows from the 80s that you loved and then trying to see where they are now.
Did they have a traffic guy on WKRP? Like a captain,
I think
Captain Paul Kopsky type.
Not nearly as good as Cap.
No.
I think Les Nessman did the traffic.
I was thinking so too. He did both.
Do you have any Buckeye Awards, Cap?
I don't think I have. But
yeah.
As far as the traffic goes, a vehicle fire on 270 East before Lindbergh is causing congestion back to Missouri Bottom. There's an accident on 270 South at Gravois with emergency vehicles blocking the two right lanes and traffic backed up to Doherty Ferry. Repair work on 6455 East at the Poplar Street Bridge is causing a stop and go back up on 64 to 14th Street. And we have a stalled vehicle on 270 South past Ladue Road with the stop and go back up to Page. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers with great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Every day another adventure. Our greatest discoveries come when we stop searching. Beneath the endless sky, away from the stress of work, the answer to the ancient Zen mystery, the sound of one hand clapping. Take a trip in an RV from Byerly in Eureka.
For the rest of your life, you gotta be there.
When you're driving the lane, you've got to stay in control, and the same goes for your car. When the unexpected happens, breakdowns, engine trouble, costly repairs, CarShield has your back so you can keep driving without missing a beat. Don't get benched by expensive car repairs. Join the winning team with America's #1 auto protection company, CarShield. Call 800-861-6176 or visit carshield.com today. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
It's bracket season. Dogtown bracket, that is. And while the players take the court, the Dogtown pizzas hit the ovens.
Pepperoni versus sausage, bacon versus veggie. And don't forget #1 overall seed.
Hot chicken. And with 13 different varieties, this will be the tastiest Final Four in league history. Celebrate tournament time with Dogtown Pizza and build your own bracket with 13 different varieties. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and a not-for-profit in Granite City is doing what it can to help end child abuse. Janice Minster, the Director of Operations and Programs at Bright Point, is joining us to tell us more. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you for having us.
So how long has Bright Point been around?
Bright Point has a long time legacy. We've been around for more than 145 years.
And is it solely to Granite City, or is this a national organization and just has an office in Granite City?
Great question. We're actually a statewide child and family service organization, and our Metro East office serves the counties in the southernmost part of Illinois.
Wow. I mean, studies have shown over and over prevention works, but how do you know when to step in?
Well, we have been doing this for 145 years, and we have changed our name over time from originally known as Children's Home and Aid to now Bright Point. And part of that name change shift is because of the focus on prevention services. And so often it comes from a family calling and saying, I need help. And we find that as a strength of families, not as a weakness. or sometimes it's a referral from the court system or the Department of Children and Family Services. It's when we know how and when to step in, but we always follow the lead of the families as the experts.
You know, it's so interesting. You think constantly we say, you know, it takes a village. And I feel like these days you have so many single parents who are just trying to make ends meet. And then you go home after a 14-hour day and that baby is crying. Those are some of the situations that you see quite often.
Yes, they are. In fact, almost 100 and I would say the majority of our families live below 130% of the federal poverty level. And so when they call us, they're asking for help. They're needing guidance. They have done all that they can, and they've used their social networks to find support in other areas. And when we respond to those calls, 2/3 of the families report that our help mattered to them and made a difference.
Yeah, you see families like that everywhere they turn, every aspect of their life is under stress and heavy stress. And even like one ray of sunshine for what you can provide can help them hang on for now.
Yeah, BrightPoint does say we shine a light to prevent a crisis from turning into life-altering changes or decisions to that family structure.
So does Child Family Services contact you? Does the police departments, do they contact, or can families themselves, before something happens, say, we are on a wire here. Can you help us?
All of those options exist.
Wow.
Police departments, some of our own staff refer to other programs, the families themselves. So any referral source we will accept, and if we don't or aren't able to serve that family, we will direct them to another nonprofit or United Way of Greater St. Louis to support that family.
We're talking to Janice Minster, the Director of Operations and Programs at BrightPoint. So what sorts of services do you guys offer there at BrightPoint?
Within BrightPoint, we offer 3 divisions, the first one being child welfare, foster care, intact family services, where we intervene early so that the children are not removed, sometimes extended family support to help families obtain guardianship. And then our mental health and wellness, which includes services to youth who are either running away from home or being locked out of their home or experiencing homelessness. And then finally, early childhood services, which is the child care resource and referral, home visiting programs that, again, are very prevention focused.
So you are working with kids, infants to 17?
Yeah, expectant parents all the way up to ages 21.
Wow, it is remarkable.
And we like to get them early, as we said, to prevent those life-altering decisions.
Yeah. Can you share one of your favorite stories of success?
Sure. I just had the opportunity. We recently had one of our home visitors be awarded the statewide impact award because of her work with families. She's been in the nonprofit sector for over 32 years. Wow. And she believes like her role is to support families, not to judge them. So however they come to us, it's their story, and we're here to help them resolve that issue and help them with that story so that they can move forward and become thriving families.
What do you see is one of the biggest contributing factors to having people call you or having to intervene? Is it economic?
Yes, absolutely. Economics and poverty, which is often confused with child abuse and neglect, which really, it's not abuse or neglect. They lack the resources to address the systems that they're interacting with or the supports that their family needs. And, you know, one of the other great things I will share about BrightPoint, we have a phenomenal partnership with a faith-based community it's called Needs Among Us. Every year, they support 50 of our families in St. Clair County, not just at the holidays, which is what often companies do, but throughout the entire year. They support 50 of our families.
Wow, it is remarkable. And can you look back and just in the last 10 years, kind of guess how many families you've helped?
Oh, gosh, it's hard to put a number on that, but annually we serve 37,000 families each year. Yeah,
that's truly remarkable.
And some of those services are, short term. We can resolve what comes before us within 6 months. And sometimes we have the luxury of supporting them for 3 years.
Wow. And do you have a place where you can house these children, or then you have to kind of find a house for them.
No, we know that children thrive best when they stay in the homes and with their families. And family is defined broadly, and that includes a relative, an aunt, a close family friend, because that is where the relationship exists, and that's where we know children can thrive.
Yeah, well, keep up the fantastic work that you guys are doing there at Bright Point. And I know you have a fun Kids and Cops Donut Run coming up about this. This is the 6th annual, so this is a pretty popular event.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And people from all over the Metro East come and run, or we have companies who are in the service area that sponsor the event. And so we're always looking for donations and runners to support our programming, because those funds are used to fill in the gaps. Of many times, it's the essential services that families need.
From companies to individuals, people who want to volunteer, people who want to give, what's the best way to contact and get on board?
Sure. They can check out our website, www.brightpoint.org, and we have an events page that covers all of those options, from registering as a runner to being a company sponsor or for being a one-time donor.
Is it okay if you're more interested in the donuts than the running?
Well, you can do both. You just kind of slow your roll a little bit when you walk.
That's right. I was going to say, just maybe we need to have somebody in front of him holding the donut to get him to run, as far as that goes. Well, the 6th annual Kids and Cops Donut Run is April 18th, and you can learn more, as Janice pointed out, brightpoint.org. Janice, again, thank you so much for everything that you're doing in the community. Keep up the great work.
Thank you very much.
And now, KTRS weather.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Overnight into the early morning, a narrow band of some rain-snow mix is going to stay just to the northeast of St. Louis, and temperatures even there will be above freezing, so not expecting any impacts. We may see a little light rain shower here or there, otherwise mostly cloudy, and 39 for the low in St. Louis. And then 54 in the afternoon with clear, mostly cloudy skies. That's going to be a cool day for us. It is our coolest of the week, though, because a warm-up kicks in on Wednesday. After a low of 41 Wednesday morning, the high, 73 with partly cloudy skies. What a nice warm-up Wednesday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, everybody. McGraw-Millhaven here for family-owned and family-operated Lisi Lumber since 1872. Lisi Lumber is now producing and delivering custom kits for pre-assembled trestles, pavilions, and pergolas made to your specifications. Union-made, union-delivered, homeowners and do-it-yourselfers, you're going to love this. Got an idea? Send them a sketch and some dimensions, and they'll do the rest. For the best woods and pre-assembled hardscapes, call Lisi Lumber at 618-234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. You know how spring works in St. Louis. One week you're running the furnace, the next week you're flipping on the air conditioner. It's weather whiplash, and your HVAC system feels it too. That's why spring is the perfect time to have the experts at Premier Heating and Cooling check things out. Their technicians go through 5 years of training, well beyond industry standards. So when they perform a tune-up, they're making sure your system is running safely, efficiently, and ready for whatever the next St. Louis weather swing brings. If your furnace or air conditioner is older or starting to struggle, Premier can help with that too. They offer financing options that make replacing your system far more manageable, and a new unit can mean better comfort and lower energy bills all year long. So whether it's a quick tune-up or time for an upgrade, call the team that knows how to handle St. Louis weather. 636-916-1122, premierheatingcooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Spring is here, and that means you're going to be spending more time outside and enjoying the outdoors. But your deck, you've been thinking about doing something with that deck for years. Don't wait any longer. Go see my friends over there at Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. It's right there. It's been there a long time. At Outdoor Living, the showroom has a great style, great designs. You can get all sorts of options. They'll come out to your house. They'll do a site visit, and when you're ready, they'll build you a deck with metal framing, composite decking, and they will put a 50-year warranty on that deck. That's right. You don't have to worry about staining. You don't have to worry about warping or anything else. All you have to worry about is how much fun you're going to have. They've also got pergolas and fences and patios furniture. Yeah, they got patio furniture at Outdoor Living. Check out the showroom, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. It looks like the old Denny's. You're in the right place. Or online, outdoorlivinginc.com for all of your patio needs and a 50-year warranty on that new deck. OutdoorLivingInc.com.
The big, beautiful tax bill passed. Do you know how these changes will affect your financial plan? What changes has your financial advisor made to take advantage of these opportunities before they expire? Join me, Kevin Lloyd, for my next tax workshop, 314-641-1010. Learn how these changes can benefit you and your family. 314-641-1010.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPLA, registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Sometimes Easter Sunday brings one of those dishes to the table that continues to be made year after year, but nobody eats. Like my grandmother used to do one of those. It was like a marshmallowy, like pink fluff that we called it. And I promise you, nobody would ever eat it, but yet it was made year after year. Like my mom had the beets out of a can yesterday and said, and we're like, no, we don't.
The beets are ready.
Want those. But let me ask you this. What is a food that you pretend to like, maybe if you're out to dinner to impress someone, but you can't stand? I mean, we know Josh is never going to eat a mushroom.
No.
Even if he's trying to impress someone. But I'm thinking back to a time where we were all out to dinner and bone marrow was kind of the thing. And, they actually had the bone.
Eating with Neanderthals?
Yeah.
Well, it was a kind of a delicacy
It
for
was
a
a
lot
thing.
of, and it still
On
is
what? On toast, right?
Well, I mean, you could do it on several different ways, but I was like, ugh, but I did it.
And were they impressed?
I don't know. I think they were less impressed. It just made me feel like I was
cultured,
less New Madrid. Yes.
I'm in the minority here, but I did that one time with sushi with Mike Shannon. We had, come on, big boy, and we're going to eat sushi.
Oh,
And
Mike Shannon's a big sushi guy.
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
And so I went out with him, and it's Mike. I got to eat it. And it was awful, and it's still terrible. But I hung in there with the big boy.
Yeah,
and
but you did it.
Yeah.
I love sushi, but I don't go like crazy sushi. Like it's shrimp and raw tuna, raw salmon, but I don't get too like off in the weeds.
My wife will get the ones where they put the whole fish sliver on nigiri, sashimi.
Yeah.
Okay,
I do
so
that too.
You guys know how opinionated I am and how I'm not afraid to share my opinions.
So maybe you should be.
So
right.
maybe.
Sometimes maybe you should think about it.
Right.
But go ahead. We love you for it.
At the dinner table, I'll say that's gross. I'm not eating it. But
so immature.
Two examples, like at the they don't have it anymore. I wish they would bring it back. The Oyster and Stout Festival, Schlafly.
It was just 1 year. They said that they were probably going to bring it back. They just needed to pause.
Okay. So I would shoot an oyster here or there, and then kind of look around and see what other food, load up on hush puppies.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good strategy, actually.
I mean, oysters really only taste like what you put on top of them, like the hot sauce and whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other one would be we go out to Vegas with this couple, and they love this restaurant, and we go for brunch, and they always order the escargot.
That's one I've never had.
Which is fine because it's tastes like the butter that it comes in.
Because I always tell them escar stop.
That's good.
But this is so great, and then I'm always kind of like, when's the next course?
Yeah,
it's not bad, but if I were by myself or with my wife,
you would never
it.
do it. Yeah, somebody said they always request the green fluff, the Watergate salad. Yeah, no, seemed pointless to me.
I saw it yesterday at my in-laws. The broccoli with the grapes and the sunflower seeds and the onions.
It's a salad.
And the dressing.
Yeah.
Is that a Waldorf salad?
Is it?
Like
Is that what it is?
That's a wild guess.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind that one either. But it's 10 minutes before 4, and we got to get a check of traffic with Captain Paul.
Heidi, a vehicle fire on 270 East before Lindbergh is causing congestion back to Missouri Bottom. There's an accident on 270 South at Gravois with emergency vehicles blocking the right lane and a stop and go back up to Manchester. Repair work on 6455 East at the Poplar Street Bridge is causing a stop and go back up on 64 to Chestnut. And we have a stalled vehicle on 270 South past Ladue Road with a stop and go jam back to Olive. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, it is pretty amazing. The United States pulled off a rescue of 2 pilots whose fighter jet was shot down by Iran. And Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge, FBI, is joining us with how the joint U.S. forces, helped by Iranians, actually pulled this off. Hey, Rich. Hi, Rich.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. So what exactly did Iranians do here?
So the Iranians, it was almost like, go back to World War II, the partisans, during our fight against the Nazis, local Iranians who are on the ground, who are most likely looking for regime change, assisted our troops by helping actually do a deception campaign. In other words, identify a different area where the crew member might be, and that the person had already been rescued by U.S. forces. So by doing that, the Iranians did not come into the area, and we did not have a shooting fight getting our crew member out.
So I know the CIA, I guess, sort of created that scheme. Does that mean we do have, while the communications are all down throughout the country, that our CIA is involved with Iranians in country?
I would be, shocked if they weren't.
Right.
And that's because, again, if you go back to the OSS in World War II, and then what we've done throughout the years, into Afghanistan, Iraq, the agency has always been on the ground, identifying those who will be friendly to the U.S. and also doing campaigns that would either promote, our U.S. Position, or at least counteract the position of the country that we're in, and it appears that's what the CIA has done, through their forces, and it's not forces, but through their officers, and their intelligence operations. They were able to basically put out a deception campaign that truly tricked the Iranians from knowing where the crew member was.
Rich, what do you know about this service member who had to hide deep in the mountains? Where exactly was he?
Well, yeah, he was, from what I believe, it was the southwest corner of Iran, a very mountainous region, a rural region, and that, when either, from being ejected or from landing, the crew member broke his ankle. And so he needed to get to a better location where it was more hidden, and where also he could be rescued by our troops. And so he actually was, moving in some manner with a broken ankle. But again, his training, everything that led him to that point as being a weapons officer on a F-15 in the U.S. military, all of that training came to bear, and he was able to get to a good location where our troops could get to him.
Rich, I want to emphasize that. This is the first I heard he had a broken ankle, and I heard he was also bleeding, had to tend to his own wounds, and still climbed the mountain. That is incredible.
It really is. I mean, they go through their SEER training, which is the survival, evasion, resistance, escape training, but it really just comes down to that mental fitness that these pilots and weapons officers have. That he was able to, bear everything and focus on getting out, and also knowing that he will not be left behind. And that was something that was mentioned in the briefings today, that they will not leave one of our service members behind. And I think that is something that every service member takes into combat when they go.
Rich, are these aviators, do they have any kind of tracking device on them, so if they were to go down that we can find them?
Yeah, most likely he would have some type of beeper system, some beacon with him, or some type of radio. And it's my understanding that he was able to have some communication with our U.S. forces, but they were very intermittent, and actually it was just enough, I think, that our troops were able to find him.
So you mentioned there is a group in Iran that you compared to the French Resistance in World War II. Should that give us an optimism that there is an appetite in Iran for regime change or for U.S. involvement?
Yeah, I mean, it's my belief and that there is definitely an appetite for it. The issue is that how big of an appetite, or how big this group is, and that you're facing a very embedded government, that has been waiting for this, has been training for this themselves, and is kind of ready for not just the U.S. to come at them, but they were ready for the Israelis, and how hard are they, or how long are they willing to fight back against the U.S. forces and the U.S. might. It really comes down to in my opinion, two very strong, powerful countries that are going at it. But with the people in that country that want regime change, hopefully that pushing from their side will assist us in some type of ending of this conflict, and hopefully it will be some negotiated settlement so that we can so that we don't lose any other pilots or any soldiers in what could be a long drawn out fight.
And at the beginning of this thing, President Trump issued a tweet or a True Social that said, "Now is your time, Iran, to take your country back." With the internet blackouts or lockouts, any chance that people in Iran even saw that, or what kind of information are they getting from us?
Oh, I think they do see that. Yeah, there is a blackout of that. But with today's technical society and with other mechanisms for people to be able to communicate, not just word of mouth, which I think is still very utilized, or but the ability to use, whether it's Wi-Fi, cell phones, other types of technology, satellite, and get that message across Iran. I do think that it is being put out there. And I also think that there's also, while the president of the United States and, the leader or the ruler of Iran are, very vocal in, how we're going to attack or how we're going to defend, there is some negotiations going on behind the scenes, and the president has actually commented on that, where there have been a couple of good conversations. So you hope with all the different pressures from every direction that there is some type of negotiated settlement at one point.
Yeah. Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge FBI, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insight.
Thank you.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants, the cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. As the war with Iran grinds into a sixth week, we're learning new details about the harrowing rescue of two airmen days apart after their fighter jet went down in Iran. President Trump commending the military forces, CIA, and the missing airman who evaded capture even as Iranian militants moved in. ABC's Martha Raddatz has more.
There was, of course, the pilot in the front seat, and then what is called the WISO, the weapons systems officer, that colonel who was just recently rescued, in the back seat. When they eject, they are milliseconds apart, and yet the president told us that they were miles apart, which can happen depending on the weather, depending on the trajectory of the jet, when they turn the jet, and they both eject. That was launched in broad daylight.
President Trump is now doubling down on his threat to carry out military strikes on Iran if it does not reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
We're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants.
Military experts say targeting civilian sites could be considered war crimes. The Artemis 2 lunar flyby making history today, breaking the distance record for human space travel that was set by Apollo 13 in 1970.
Today, for all humanity, you're pushing beyond that frontier.
And they are not finished yet. The 4 astronauts on board the Orion spacecraft are passing on the far side of the moon. ABC's Gio Benitez says in the next few hours, the crew will reach their closest point to the moon and also briefly lose contact with NASA.
During the flyby, NASA says there will be a communications blackout and that astronauts will be laying eyes on parts of the moon that they have never been seen before with human eyes. So that's just incredible. But again, that blackout of 40 minutes is expected.
Back on Earth tonight, 2 teams tip off for the men's NCAA National Championship game. UConn looking for another title when they take on Michigan. You're listening to ABC News.
The final stretch of your career isn't about slowing down. It's about getting strategic. Those last 5 years before retirement can define your financial future, from maximizing contributions and paying off high-interest debt to mapping out health care and testing your post-retirement budget. This is your moment to take control. At Pioneer Wealth Management, we help you connect all the moving parts. Real peace of mind starts long before your final paycheck. Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Pioneer Wealth Management and Creative One Wealth are unaffiliated. Life insurance professional investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Tax-free edition only. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. How this is taxes.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax Free Edition. See if you qualify at TurboTax.com/free. Don't miss the deadline. File by 4/15. No schedules except for Earned Income Tax Credit, Child Tax Credit, Student Loan Interest, and Schedule 1A.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. 3 people were found dead this morning inside of a house that exploded and burned late last night in unincorporated Madison County. The explosion happened at 11:18 last night in the 8000 block of West Kirsch Road, about 2 miles south of Troy, Illinois. 1 person was transported to the hospital last night as firefighters battled the blaze. Others escaped the home without injury and said 3 more people may be inside. Just before 10 this morning, the 3 people were found dead inside the home. The cause of the explosion and fire remain under investigation, but preliminary reports indicate that fireworks were stored in the home. Nearly a year after a deadly shooting of a teen in North St. Louis, a man has been charged in his murder. 21-year-old Marlon Hemphill has been charged on multiple counts, including first-degree murder in the death of 16-year-old Octavius Harris. The teen was shot inside of a car along O'Fallon Street in the early morning hours of June 15, 2025. Police say Harris and 5 others in the car were heading to a party when they came under gunfire. 3 other people were also hit by the gunfire, but survived their injuries. All schools are closed in the Waterloo Community United School District 5 today after the junior high was vandalized on Saturday. During the incident, fire extinguishers were emptied. Air quality testing needs to be conducted before students and staff can return to the school. The all-clear was given at a post office in Kirkwood after a suspicious package investigation this past weekend. Authorities were called to the post office on the 300 block of South Kirkwood Road Saturday afternoon, with several nearby businesses being evacuated as a precaution. The FBI reportedly assisted in the investigation, which ended with no threat being found. Details of the package have not yet been released. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe is expected to sign a bill that will allow pregnant women to be granted a divorce. Under current Missouri law, pregnant women can file for divorce, but the process cannot be finalized. The governor will sign the bill into law tomorrow. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florists, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. In recognition of Financial Literacy Month, KTRS's Steve Potter reports that the City of St. Louis Treasurer's Office is holding a week-long series of events beginning today.
St. Louis Saves Week runs through Saturday and is designed to empower residents with both the tools and the knowledge that they need to build strong financial futures by way of free events, including workshops, discussions, and interactive sessions that focus on overall financial wellness. Events will be held downtown at City Hall, and according to Treasurer Adam Lane, those attending will be able to learn from financial experts about practical strategies on saving and budgeting and insight into how to build credit. All of the week's events are free and open to the public. For more information and to register for St. Louis Saves Week, go to stlofe.org/events. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
Now, this market report is brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturday mornings 9 to 11. Wall Street closed today up. Dow Jones jumped 165 points to close at 46,669. NASDAQ up 117 to finish at 21,996. S&P 500 up 29 points to close at 6,611. Now let's check sports and traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
So the Cardinals continue their road trip tonight as they get the Nationals in Washington, D.C. Yesterday, the Birds pounded out 6 hits, all being singles, in a 5-3 winner over the Tigers in Detroit. It salvaged a contest in the 3-game series. And Illinois basketball fell to UConn at the Final Four, 71-62, ending the Illini's run in the NCAA tournament. The Huskies will play Michigan tonight for the national championship. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. There's a crash on 270 north at Dorset, blocking the 3 left lanes with a stop and go back up to Page. An accident on 70 west at the Blanchette Bridge is blocking the 2 left lanes and causing a stop and go jam back to 141. A vehicle fire on 270 east before Lindbergh is causing a slowdown back to McDonald. There's an accident on 270 south at Gravois with emergency vehicles blocking the right lane and a stop and go back up to Manchester. Repair work on 6455 east at the Poplar Street Bridge is causing a stop and go back up 64 to Chestnut. And we have an accident on 270 south past Ladue Road with the stop and go jam back to Olive. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. KTRS weather tonight, cloudy, overnight low of 40. Tomorrow, cloudy, high of 55, and warm up on Wednesday, partly cloudy, high of 73. Right now we have 63 degrees under sunny skies. The time is 4:08. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the Dock of St. Louis.
With over 30 years of experience in top-quality senior living, McKnight Place Assisted Living knows how to help its residents live fulfilling lives. The professional staff gets to know all residents and their families. McKnight Place Assisted Living has become known for its high-quality amenities, personalized services, and expert care. But its history of making people a priority is what really sets it apart from many other senior communities. That starts with the residents and extends to their loved ones. 314-993-3333 or visit them at mcknightplace.com.
For all of your travel needs, you go to the best travel agency in the world. Granted, I'm a little biased. Altair Travel and Cruises. They'll take you wherever you want to go in style. They'll handle all the details. You handle all the fun. Don't go to the Googles. Don't make that mistake. It all starts at Altair Travel and Cruises on Brentwood Boulevard, 314-968-9600. Anywhere you want to go, let Altair Travel take you. AltairTravel.com.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Monday afternoon, April 6th, Richard Kind, Taylor Lauderman, Beth Level, and Paulo Zott join season 108 at the Muni. Tony Award nominees Richard Kind, Taylor Lauderman, and Tony Award winners Beth Level and Paulo Zott will star in productions this summer. Kind, you know him. You know Richard Kind. He's been in everything. Will make his Muni debut playing Edna Turnblad in the season opening production of Hairspray. Taylor Lauderman, who is a St. Louisan and a native of Bourbon, Missouri, will play Ensign Nellie Forbush in Rodgers and Hammerstein's South Pacific. Zott, who made his Muni debut last summer in Evita, will star opposite of her. And longtime Muni favorite Level returns after 8 years to play Katie Connolly in Meet Me in St. Louis. It's going to be a magical summer at Muni. Artistic director and executive producer Mike Isaacson said, bringing together new and old friends is the heart of what makes the Muni so special, and we're thrilled to welcome these 4 incredible artists to our stage. I can't wait for our audience to see who else is meeting us in St. Louis this summer. The season opens June 15th with Hairspray.
I love Richard Kind.
Mm-hmm.
I first noticed him in Mad About You.
Yeah, same.
I don't know what was he the friend? Ira was his brother.
I think he was one of the friends.
He was a friend.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was in Spin City. He's in a Coen's Brothers movie. He's great.
His biography, I mean, it is just show after show after show. Curb Your Enthusiasm, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure he's. Yeah. Is he playing the John Travolta?
Yes.
Yes. This will be.
It's going to be fantastic. Yeah.
Really good.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to put a wrap on, or a bow, I should say, on Easter. We don't mind. We were talking about all the things we did.
Absolutely. It's technically Easter Monday.
It's Easter Monday, so we're going to wrap this up. Family on an Easter egg hunt uncovered possible human skull.
Oh, no.
Oh, my.
Nah, it's not the kind of Easter we want.
No.
Oh.
The Long Beach Police Department said in a statement that officers responded after possible human remains were discovered over the weekend at the Forest Park in Long Beach, while family came across the whatever it is while hunting for Easter eggs. Now, my first question is, did anybody put an Easter egg near there and they did not see it
I don't know.
ahead of time?
Did you guys find the egg in the skull?
Oh, I'll put them in the 2 eye holes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gross. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. In a statement shared with people today, the Long Beach Police said officers responded and that they took what appear to be human remains, and they're going to check them out in the lab. The boys down in the lab will check them out, but the kids were kind of yelling when they found what looked like a skull protruding from
thank you.
That's like the beginning of a Law and Order.
Yeah,
a little bit. That's exactly right. Yep.
Oh, they got to use it anyway. They're awaiting the medical examiner's forensic anthropology report.
Okay.
Nightmare
How
stuff.
fun.
Yeah. Ick.
All right. Speaking of Easter, just really quickly, the broccoli and grape salad thing that I saw at Easter dinner.
What's it called?
It's called broccoli grape salad.
How did they ever come up with that?
Apparently the Waldorf and the
That has apples
whatever.
in it. Somebody on the text line said that has
okay.
apples.
I just took a shot.
It was a good guess.
What should we name it? Well,
what's in it?
Broccoli grape salad? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Great. Let's go have some drinks.
You're amazing. you're my new leader of the marketing team.
All right. Bed Bath & Beyond has entered into a definitive merger agreement to buy
Container store.
The Container Store.
I saw it.
Was Bed Bath & Beyond, are they still in business?
So they went out of business.
Okay.
They came back online only.
Oh.
And will ship you stuff directly. But they paid $150 million, or they will pay $150 million. And here's the deal. I don't know what they're going to call it. But the combined business intends to broaden product range and home services, what they describe as the everything home ecosystem. The 21,000-foot container stores will now have merchandise across bed, bath, storage, kitchen, and entertaining. It's going to bring Bed Bath & Beyond back to life in a brick-and-mortar store.
Bed Bath & Container.
Bed Bath & Container Store. Maybe that's what they should call it. And maybe we should be on the lookout for the big blue coupons again.
You think?
In our mailbox.
That was a good store.
It was a great store. It had a little bit of everything.
I don't know why it went out of business. We had people on, we interviewed people about it at the time.
I think it's one of those things. You start ordering everything online and you don't go into the big box stores anymore. And then when you finally do, the shelves are so bare that you go back to ordering it online. I think
That's
it's
so
just,
true.
you don't know really what comes first, but
I think most of our towels and bedding and all that from a number of
curtains.
years ago, are all from Bed Bath & Beyond.
Absolutely.
Every time I moved, and I moved quite a bit, you'd make a trip and just do the loop.
Bed Bath & Beyond, yep.
Yeah, start on the right side,
I was going to
work
say,
around.
did you register for your wedding there?
Registered for our wedding there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So many people did, I think.
I don't know what it's going to be called, but it's coming back.
Well, or is it just going to be it's purchased by and it'll still be
Will it be called
Bed
the
Bath
Container
and-
Store,
or
or will it be called Bed
or will
Bath
it still
Beyond?
be two separate things? There are so many companies that own similar things and they still keep their names. They just have a, bigger umbrella.
It'll be
Container and
interesting to see.
Yeah. So many options.
Where's the Beyond section?
Oh, boy. Yeah. Beyond is right. Beyond is what you'll find at the St. Louis County Library because it is books and beyond. It's so much more than just your favorite book. I mean, at St. Louis County Library, your library card allows you to explore the collection of books, music, streaming content. There are all kinds of free programs. You've got author events where your favorite author comes in and sits with someone in conversation to discuss his or her latest book. But then you also have the Library of Things, which is a really unique collection of non-traditional library items, including musical instruments and GoPro cameras, even portable projectors. So, Josh, if the Slick City or whatever that place is called, if you end up not doing that for Finn's birthday, you can go get a portable projector and have a party outside, showing Finn's favorite movie. And you don't even have to go buy the projector. You just go to St. Louis County Library and check it out.
Well, Ryan Krull's going to join us here. I was talking to him earlier. He said, how was your weekend? I said, we went to Slick City. Might be a little too old for your son. His son's about 2 years old.
Yeah.
And he sent me a video of the place they went to. I said, Ryan, go to the county library.
Yep.
Their kids section at the new headquarters.
It's fantastic.
It's so cool, and
Yep.
it's free.
It's crazy the things that you can do at St. Louis County Library, and you can see the entire list. You can see what authors are coming next at slcl.org.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
You're selling your home, and I want to buy it. This is Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I am ready to pay top dollar for your home. No contingencies, no inspections, no monkey business. I buy your home no matter the condition or location, and you walk away with cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867, 314-283-0867, or at robangproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Spring is here, and that means you're going to be spending more time outside and enjoying the outdoors. But your deck, you've been thinking about doing something with that deck for years. Don't wait any longer. Go see my friends over there at Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. It's right there. It's been there a long time. At Outdoor Living, the showroom has a great style, great designs. You can get all sorts of options. They'll come out to your house. They'll do a site visit, and when you're ready, they'll build you a deck with metal framing, composite decking, and they will put a 50-year warranty on that deck. That's right. You don't have to worry about staining. You don't have to worry about warping or anything else. All you have to worry about is how much fun you're going to have. They've also got pergolas and fences and patios furniture. Yeah, they got patio furniture at Outdoor Living. Check out the showroom, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. It looks like the old Denny's. You're in the right place. Or online, outdoorlivinginc.com for all of your patio needs and a 50-year warranty on that new deck. OutdoorLivingInc.com.
The big, beautiful tax bill passed. Do you know how these changes will affect your financial plan? What changes has your financial advisor made to take advantage of these opportunities before they expire? Join me, Kevin Lloyd, for my next tax workshop, 314-641-1010. Learn how these changes can benefit you and your family. 314-641-1010.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPLA, registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.
It's Julie Buck, and it's just a good time to be alive. There's probably an Only facial right around the corner from your house. This is the best thing going. There's no gratuity, it's one price, and you get 12 different steps of a facial, including a cleanse. They even fix your brows for you. They do some dermaplaning, microdermabrasion, a chemical peel, even a little relaxing massage, some extractions, red light therapy. Then they do the microcurrent high frequency to get that collagen going, and a treatment mask. And then they give you a little hydration and SPF to be on your way. You come in as you are at the Only Facial with locations all around town, and you can't beat $125 for all of the things I just mentioned. And you can go to their website and find out about all the locations and see a video of what the experience of the Only Facial is like. I think you'll love it. Give it a try, and don't forget they have a new location in Creve Coeur right at Olive and 270, right behind the new Chick-fil-A. So go see The Only Facial or go online, theonlyfacial.com.
Have some fun with your friends while eating great food. Of course, I'm talking about the Village Bar, the only place to watch the big game while eating the world's best cheeseburger. There's a reason people have made this their favorite hangout for decades. The game's on, and so is the grill. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550. KTRS. It's Monday. And that means news, politics, lighthearted topics, and everything St. Louis and beyond. It's Ryan Krull from St. Louis Magazine on the Big 550 KTRS. The talk of St. Louis.
Welcome back, Ryan. Did you have a nice Easter?
We did, yeah. The little 2-year-old had a blast just searching for Easter eggs, and he was less interested in what was inside them than he was with finding them. So,
yeah.
The fun day, though. How about you guys?
It was very nice, and the weather was great. So good times all around. Ryan, let's start with your story on the bump out removal in downtown St. Louis. They were meant to be traffic calming. Were they successful?
It really depends on who you ask. So, yeah, these were about 4 or 5 of these bump outs, and those are like where where you walk across the street where there's a little protection on either side. So, the distance you're crossing is a little bit less. So it seemed to be working most of the time, like 99% of the time. Pedestrians really loved these bump outs kind of by the old courthouse near the arch. It just made getting around downtown a little easier, felt a little safer. But according to some, they were really causing problems on the occasion when downtown would just be like slammed, like when there was a Blues, Cards, and Battlehawks game all on the same day, or when I think it was Zach Bryan played the Dome. And that would cause basically trouble with folks trying to get in downtown from the highway and then out of downtown back onto the highway. And I really have people were saying that it would take like 3 hours to get from like the dome, to the highway. And I have to think if it's taken 3 hours to get that short distance, the bump outs, they might not be helping, but I got a feeling they're not the only problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I kind of see both sides on this one. I do think that I'll be curious to see what happens the next time there's a huge, triple header downtown or something like that. See if things are a little bit smoother.
So, that's Mayor Spencer is a big proponent of having them removed. Where does everybody else stand on this, and have they already been removed?
Yeah, so most of them have been removed. Another one I think they're kind of looking at. So it kind of depends on who you ask. I know folks who are big advocates of making the city more pedestrian and bicycle friendly. They really don't like to see this just because a lot of this traffic calming infrastructure over the past few years has been really hard fought. So they're not happy about seeing even just a little bit of it get removed. On the other hand, some downtown business owners really did not like these, particularly the folks who own that Hilton that's downtown. They said that the bump out was interfering with people using the traffic circle, where they could drop off people and pick people up. Yeah. So I see both sides of it. I mean, people are very serious about making the city bike and pedestrian friendly, but at the same time, the economic engine is the businesses, so you can't hamper them. I think this is probably a case where we will eventually get this right and figure it out, but there's going to be a little bit of argument, a little bit of gnashing of teeth along the way.
Has either side offered actual data or just opinion?
That's a good question. So really no data beyond looking at some specific instances, and it's kind of anecdotal of saying, well, hey, it was very congested on this night, not others. But yeah, no, that is a good point. Another thing that I think has a little bit upset folks was that there was a lot of public input and workshops and hearings or community meetings about having these things installed. And it looked like they were removed just at the request of one or two people without a whole lot of input from the public. So I think that has sort of ruffled some feathers. So I think in the future, if they want to remove some of this stuff, for good reason, I think they'll probably have a little bit more, public engagement before they do so. Yeah.
Well, in other St. Louis City news, the city is tearing down the historic Quinn Chapel. Where is this chapel and what's its significance?
Yeah, so this is in the Carondelet neighborhood. It is not much to look at right now. It suffered a pretty bad fire last year, which really kind of gutted it. But this is one of the oldest churches in St. Louis City. It's 160 years old. Wow. It was founded back when Carondelet was actually its own city, kind of, sort of out in the sticks a little bit. And it obviously wasn't part of, it's kind of, it was like the county, right? It was like the far-flung area from downtown at the time. But yeah, it was a historic Black congregation. It served as a church for over a century. It had a really important role whenever there was a significant flood in the area. People lived there for an extended period of time. It's part of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. But it's sort of the congregation kind of dwindled, and then this fire sort of just was kind of the last nail in the coffin. But there's folks, and this is sort of where I got really interested in the story, was there's folks who are really interested in doing something with the building. There's talks of turning it into a kind of a farmer's market area, maybe kind of a community gathering space. Folks who are in Carondelet and are historic preservation buffs were really adamant to sort of see this church building stick around in some way. And they actually wanted to buy it from the folks who own it right now. But the problem was they just couldn't get the owners to take their call or respond to their texts or emails. And the city, all the while, the city was saying, this building is a danger. We have to, it's not structurally safe. We have to knock it down. And they were actually supposed to start the demolition process today. But we did this story in St. Louis Magazine about how these potential buyers were having trouble getting a hold of the owner. And I couldn't believe it. Lo and behold, the owner actually surfaced this morning.
Really?
It's still all very preliminary, but there's some hope for this church going forward.
Well, that is very interesting. And I know, living in Lafayette Square, it's so hard to tear anything down that is historical. So I'm surprised it made it this far, even with that.
Yeah, so the issue was that this, again, I kind of keep bringing up that fire. That fire was just just a total nightmare for anyone who kind of had some interest in this building. But since then, it was really hard to secure the building, so squatters would get in there. They would start fires themselves and further damage the property. It was kind of becoming a nuisance. a place where, potential criminal activity, that kind of thing. It was definitely an eyesore. So, no, you are totally right. This is on the National Register of Historic Places. But my really rough understanding of the topic is that if a building is basically like a threat to public safety, which I think this one probably qualifies as that, that lets the city get around some of those historic preservation protections in terms of demolishing it.
And if anybody wants to have an opinion on it, go to St. Louis Magazine. I'm looking at the photograph in your magazine, and there's a wall.
Yeah,
and it's not even a complete wall. I'm all for. Heidi and I and Josh have talked for 2 years now about how important it is for preservation, but I'm not sure what there is to preserve here.
Yeah, that is a good question. I totally hear what you're saying. They're basically, I think what folks wanted to do was to basically use the bones that are right there, and then, create something totally new, like some kind of community gathering space or something like that. And I agree. I had some skepticism as well. But I talked to this one guy in Carondelet whose name's Matthew Goodleaf, and he actually lives just a block from the building. And he has kind of a bit of a track record in terms of preserving buildings. Him and his wife purchased a house that's even older than this church, and it's called the Kennon House, Kennon, and it holds the distinction of being the best preserved Carpenter Gothic structure in the city of St. Louis. But yeah, they kind of they sort of know what they're doing here. And if you go to their website for their other projects, you can kind of track its progress over the years. They've really sort of built it back up and are hoping to sort of make it something that can be lived in again. So I totally hear you on the skepticism here, but I guess it's sort of just what bothered me about this story was there's this out-of-town absentee owner, and there's people who actually wanted to buy it. Like, they were willing to do 99% of the work. Someone just needed to sign some papers, essentially. And it was because of that inaction that the city or that this neighborhood had this eyesore on their hands.
Yeah, and I know at least in our neighborhood, sometimes all you need is that one wall, and then you get tax abatement because it's a historic building. So there's a lot that goes into maintaining that. I mean, there's lots of different hoops you have to jump through. But if you can just show maybe the front structure, it's a different kind of animal.
Wow.
Ryan, also a North City activist is hoping to get help from Catherine Hanaway in a gas station fight. What's the issue with the gas station?
Yeah, so this is sort of gets to sort of a long sort of simmering issue, in particular in North City, where there's gas stations that sell a lot of they're big on sort of the liquor sales, the tobacco, and even the synthetic weed sales, as well as, in addition to all of that, they're basically casinos where they have those the slot machine-like devices. So people who are, community activists, they say there's too much of this stuff in our neighborhood. We don't need essentially like a bar, weed shop / casino on every block. There's too many of these quote-unquote gas stations that are functionally those things. So they were sort of working to try to kind of get them out of the neighborhood. There was a fight between some of the clerks and an intoxicated customer at one of them that really sort of set off tensions. So flash forward to, just last week, some of these same community activists are kind of opening a new front in the battle against these gas stations, where now they're enlisting the help of Attorney General Catherine Hanaway, asking for her to shut some of these down on the basis that these places continue to have those slot machines inside of them, despite the fact that they've been ruled illegal. And Hanaway herself has said she's trying to crack down on this. So, the gas station in question is one that's at sort of Union and I-70. So I was just curious if these guys were really flouting the law that said you have to get rid of these slot machine-like devices. And I went in there, and sure enough, they had at least a dozen that were sort of being actively used. So I think the activists might have a sort of unlikely ally here in the Attorney General.
Have you guys seen the commercial? I saw the commercial over the weekend. It's Catherine Hanaway, and she's talking exactly about this issue. These are illegal. If you're a business that is operating these, we are coming after you. But the bars, Ryan, that have them, they sell alcohol already. And, you can just imagine what happens when you mix people losing at slot machines and alcohol. But I just assumed that the gas stations, you couldn't go get a 12-pack of Miller Lite and sit down and crack one open. But you're saying up in North County, that's kind of what it is going on.
Yeah, I don't want to overly generalize and say this is every gas station, but yeah, definitely at least a handful, some of which all have the, kind of the same few owners as well. Where basically they're sort of over-indexing on the selling of vices, more so than gas and snacks and that kind of thing. Exactly. No, the one that I was in, like I said last week, it's sort of almost set up kind of like a parlor where there's more floor space in the store devoted to, slot machines than almost anything else. So so they're really, I think some of these sort of less than scrupulous gas station owners have seen where some of the kind of easy money is.
Maybe instead of gas and ice, it's gas and vice.
Ooh.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah.
He's on a roll today.
You can use that.
Yeah, vice and fuel. There you go.
Vice and fuel. Oh, Ryan.
Yeah, there you go. And Ryan, do you have an update on the cat? We talked about the cat that was trapped in a tree in Forest Park. Not up in a tree, but kind of in the hollow part.
Inside the tree.
Well, this is great. I'm happy to deliver some good news.
Okay.
So, yes, after I believe it was 5 days inside the tree, Sushi the cat got out, and it was no small feat. If you recall, there was those two brothers who run Atypical Cat Rescue, the business that specializes in getting your cat out of the tree. Basically, what happened was they shook the cat's food dish over and over again to kind of get her attention, a sound she was familiar with. And then what they did was they, almost like a prison break, they tied a bunch of towels together, lowered it into the hollow tree so that the cat could get her claws into the towel and have sort of an easy way to climb up and out. And that did the trick.
Wow. Do you have video of that? That would be pretty cool.
I don't, unfortunately. I need to talk to those two brothers. I got a feeling that they had all of their hands were, busy either shaking a cat bowl or pulling some towels. So there probably wasn't anyone around to shoot the video. But yeah, it sounds amazing. And I'm trying to get the St. Louis Magazine business reporter to do like a business profile of this cat rescue business.
Yeah, maybe we should feature them here on our show. You can follow these stories and more of Ryan's reports online at stlmag.com. Ryan, thank you so much.
Hey, of course. Always good chatting.
All right, it is 4:35. Captain Paul, what are you seeing on the roads?
Heidi, I see a crash on 170 North at I-70, which has traffic backed up to Natural Bridge. Elsewhere, an accident on 70 West at the Blanchette Bridge is blocking the two left lanes and causing a jam back to St. Charles Rock Road. They are still working to clear a vehicle fire on 270 East before Lindbergh. It's causing a slowdown back to 370. Repair work on 6455 East at the Poplar Street Bridge has a center lane closed, and it's causing a stop and go back up on 64 to near Jefferson. And traffic is jammed on 70 West coming in from Illinois to the Museo Bridge. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers with great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, KTRS weather.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Overnight into the early morning, a narrow band of some rain-snow mix is going to stay just to the northeast of St. Louis, and temperatures even there will be above freezing, so not expecting any impacts. We may see a little light rain shower here or there, otherwise mostly cloudy, and 39 for the low in St. Louis. And then 54 in the afternoon with clear, mostly cloudy skies. That's going to be a cool day for us. It is our coolest of the week, though, because a warm-up kicks in on Wednesday. After a low of 41 Wednesday morning, the high, 73 with partly cloudy skies. What a nice warm-up Wednesday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
You know, that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
Game day comfort steps up to the plate Saturday, April 11th, when the Cardinals face the Boston Red Sox downtown. That night, fans can score a Cardinals dugout hoodie presented by Mercy, built for cool nights, late innings, and early season baseball. It's a classic, easy-to-wear layer you'll reach for all year long. Available in medium or extra large while supplies last. Don't miss this spring matchup. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fredbird and games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
Hi, it's Jill Farmer, and April is Donate Life Month. KTRS is a proud partner with Mid-America Transplant. You may have questions about organ donation. I sure did. Like, will doctors do everything they can to still save my life? Yes. Your medical team's job is always to save you. Donation is only considered after every life-saving effort has failed. Or you might wonder, like I did, am I too old or unhealthy to be a donor? Not at all. People in their 80s or 90s, or even those with some medical conditions, may be able to donate. Here in our region, more than 1,400 people are waiting for a life-saving transplant. Nationwide, it's more than 100,000. One donor can save 8 lives and help heal dozens more. Registering takes just 2 minutes, and it gives hope to people who don't have time to wait. I did it. Learn the facts, talk to your family, and sign up today at sayyesgivelife.org. That's sayyesgivelife.org.
Heard a great story about the window store the other day. Larry Thornton, the owner of the window store, 314-739-0002 or wswindow.net, told me a story. He had a customer call him up and say that he wanted to replace his white vinyl windows with darker windows. And so, of course, Larry took care of him. So now they're all darker and sort of brown in color. Looks beautiful. They're energy efficient. There was no upselling. They're great quality windows, and Larry Thornton and the window store took care of him. That's what he does. The price is extremely reasonable, better than the national companies because there aren't the layers of middle management. The window store has been around for 38 plus years. Proud sponsor here at the Big 550 KTRS. Windows, and don't forget about doors. Doors can get really expensive real fast. That's why you want to go with a company you can trust. Installation, price, selection, quality. The window store. Window store. wswindow.net. 314-739-0002. wswindow.net.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Once in a while.
When we were talking about WKRP, yeah, a natty. You just went, okay.
I wanted to hit that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been singing it for most of the day, but somebody on the text line said Les Beams would do the traffic by beating his chest.
That's right.
Making the helicopter sounds. Remember that?
That's so
that
good.
was good. Yeah. That's a lot of people
Thank
love
you.
that
Well
show.
done.
Yeah.
Let's see if this actually works. Flying over the top of 270, I can see the traffic is backed up all the way to the bridge.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Think about when radio first began and all of the things that they would have to do, and like when they were, having all the shows, and they'd show the person kind of walking with the shoes on their hands, and then you had the little door that would close behind it. Yeah.
So I just gave a wink to Captain Paul. He heard that. I think he's going to try it.
Oh,
at
you
450.
do? After that?
Yeah. You liked it, right, Paul? You going to give it a whirl?
I'll give it a shot.
Up in the 550 chopper.
But do you ever? I don't think they play it anymore. Maybe they do the reruns. The Prairie Home Companion, where they would do all the the voices and the sound effect. And he walked up the creaky stairs.
Well, I mean, just all of the sounds that go with movies and what you're hearing. I mean, haven't you seen a couple of those stories of, or when, you hear somebody is stabbed and it's going into a watermelon? There's all kinds of interesting things they use to create those sounds. So, who knew?
Yeah, the Foley artists.
Yes.
That's what they're called.
I think that would be a really cool job to have.
But you walk in and you say, okay, what do I use for this? And do they have? Well, this is footsteps, and this is stab.
I believe it's in an Albert Brooks movie. Which one was it? Is it Modern Romance? Anyway, he's a movie director, and while the romantic part of the thing's going on, he's trying to do the sound effects for. There's a outer space movie he's done. George Kennedy, of all actors, is the main guy, and they're running no, it looks more like concrete, and then they'll get a guy, and it's really
to
funny.
run on. This is concrete.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then we'll run. It's really a couple of great scenes that are almost throwaway to the plot, but really good.
Fun. Yeah. Somebody said Les would start the news with from the four corners of the globe: Rome, London, Moscow, and Cincinnati. Which was also pretty fun. Bob, you've been to a ball game already at Busch Stadium,
Yes.
and did you have anything good to eat?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't go and mingle with the people.
You didn't. Oh, you were up in the press box and just did that.
I did have a regular hot dog that
was pretty delicious.
Delicious.
Okay. Well, the most absurd baseball snacks for this season: s'mores quesadilla is at the Royals in Kansas City. It's a quesadilla that is normal size but meant for dessert. So inside it, Nutella, marshmallow fluff, and graham cracker comes, and then it's topped with a strawberry pico
de gallo.
Yes. What do you think?
Strawberry pico.
It doesn't sound too
I
shabby
would
to
maybe
me.
take a bite of Josh's.
Well, not buy the whole thing, but
That's the thing with dessert. Do you want to eat the whole funnel cake, or do you want to split it with like 6 other people?
6 might be too many.
Normally, I'm keeping it to myself.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm in prison and my arms are around.
Don't let anybody have it.
Yeah.
I want a whole dessert quesadilla.
Yeah, maybe not. We'd share that.
The machete is both in Miami and Chicago with the White Sox. It's a carne asada quesadilla again. That's 2 feet long.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw
stop
it.
it.
I saw this.
I mean, they say it looks delicious, but you definitely have to share that.
Okay. Is this a national story?
Yes.
Are burnt-in hot dogs on here?
No, but brisket donuts at the Houston Astros Stadium. The brisket is inside the donut, which is then covered in barbecue sauce, topped with mac and cheese.
I'd eat that.
No.
When we were on vacation down in the Panhandle, there's something called Parlor Donuts. And it's one of these kind of, what's the donut places here that we have that make
Strange Donuts.
Strange Donuts and Vincent Van Donut.
Yeah, some great donut shops.
Kind of like that, but they had a couple savory donuts, a buffalo chicken donut, and
I shouldn't be so
pizza
quick to
donut.
be negative because getting the caramel donut with little sprinkles of bacon
With
on
the bacon on it,
is
yes.
pretty darn good.
The sweet and salty.
So I have to apologize. I was being too negative. It might be good.
How about this? The Schwarbomb Sundae, Philadelphia. It's a mini helmet of ice cream topped with funnel cake,
Yeah.
fried Uncrustable, strawberry sauce, fruity cereal.
A fried Uncrustable?
I don't like the cereal part, but the fried Uncrustable sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Well, something I showed Bob on Friday before we got out of here, the nacho hat
Uh-huh.
in Texas Rangers Stadium.
Yeah.
whatever their stadium is called now. It's a hat that you put on your head.
And you don't have to, it's kind of like the beer
inside
that used
the
to go,
sombrero.
right?
Yeah.
And you just grab it. And,
Inside the sombrero was nachos.
yeah. Now if they'll only figure out a straw, so you don't even have to use your hands. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm just going to drink my nachos.
Yeah, 2 more. The Glazilla at the Rocky Stadium. It's a 2-foot hot dog covered in whatever toppings you like. And if it's too big, they say it's designed for sharing. And then you got the Take Me Out to the Ballgame Shake in Arizona. It's a milkshake with whipped cream, peanut butter sandwich cookies, and Cracker Jacks.
I'm down.
It's a lot.
Got to eat it with a spoon. Forget the straw. There's no
Yep.
chance.
No.
That'll clog up. Give me a spoon and I'm in.
All right.
Absolutely.
Before I had a chance to even mention it myself, the people on the text line 84126 have weighed in. Josh, there's a Parlor Donuts in Wentzville. Josh, there's a Parlor Donuts in Wentzville across from St. Patrick's
Did you
Church.
say Parlor Donuts?
That's where they have the pizza donut and the buffalo chicken donut.
Parlor Donuts. So you're going to be going. You're a
the
St. Charles
barbecue
County
chicken
guy.
donut.
So is this a chain or
It's
this
a
is
chain.
I got it.
Speaking of which, started not in Cincinnati. Evanston, Illinois. Where do the Purple
We've got
Aces
a
play?
lot of fans on here
Evansville.
because they're all saying Parlor Donuts Highway
So,
Z.
Back to Busch Stadium real quick.
Yes.
The burnt end hot dogs.
Yes.
It's not made of burnt ends. It's burnt ends on top.
It's a hot dog that is covered in some sort of sticky brown sugar barbecue sauce. It's not wet. It's dry.
Okay.
And then it's chopped up. And Carl said it looked like beans and weenies.
Okay.
Weenies, where it's just the little hot dog chunks, but it's got the burnt ends coating on it. It is so good.
Okay, I'll try it.
It is so good. And I did. People, please stop texting. I know there's a Parlor Donuts in Wentzville.
No, keep texting. He asked.
Let's give out his
keep
personal
texting
number.
him, yes.
I didn't have a chance to mention it because we started talking about the Nacho Sombrero. But I did drive out to the in-laws who live in Wentzville. I got off at Highway Z and I elbow my wife and I say, "There's a Parlor Donuts here."
I've never heard of it.
Okay.
I just saw it yesterday.
All right.
While I was out at the in-laws, they kind of live in Wentzville, Lake St. Louis area, and I'm doing Easter and everything, and somebody mentioned something. Hey, Josh, isn't your dentist out this way? Like, oh, at least
Stopped in and got a cleaning on Easter, did you?
Yeah.
somebody listens to the radio in my family. And yes, my dentist is out that way. Lake St. Louis Dentistry at lakestlouisdentistry.com. 3 locations. It's been my dentist my entire life. It's been my parents' dentist most of their entire lives. Florissant Dental Services and Florissant STL Mid-County Dental in Creve Coeur. And yes, now Lake St. Louis Dentistry on Lake St. Louis Boulevard right next to 4064. LakeSt.LouisDentistry.com, and you can call them 636-333-6150. My entire in-law family has basically moved out to Lake St. Louis, so I said, look, if you guys need a dentist while you're out here, I know some people, LakeStLouisDentistry.com.
It's 9 minutes before 5 o'clock. We're going to talk sports with Brendan Weesey, but first we're going to talk a little traffic with Captain Paul.
Heidi, there's a crash on 170 North at I-70 with a stop-and-go jam back to Natural Bridge. An accident on 70 West past 141 is blocking the 2 left lanes and causing a jam back to St. Charles Rock Road. 370 West is heavy from 270 to 141. Traffic is jammed on 70 West from Exchange to the Musial Bridge. And we have the usual slowdowns on 64 West in front of Forest Park and on 55 South in South City. This traffic report is brought to you by Brown & Brown Attorneys at Law. Have you been hurt in a crash or on the job? Call Brown & Brown now for a free consultation. 314-333-3333. That's 314 all threes. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, St. Louis, temperatures are rising, and if your AC isn't blowing cold enough, trust the experts at AAA Home Services. For 56 years, they've been fixing it right the first time. Our expert technicians are qualified to work on any system with any issue. We can even perform your annual maintenance on your air conditioner before it gets too hot. And if you need an estimate on a new system, we can do that too. For 56 years, St. Louis has trusted AAA for heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair needs. Call 636-397-3200 7200. Online at AAASTL.com. Call AAA. We're on our way.
When you're driving the lane, you've got to stay in control, and the same goes for your car. When the unexpected happens, breakdowns, engine trouble, costly repairs, CarShield has your back so you can keep driving without missing a beat. Don't get benched by expensive car repairs. Join the winning team with America's #1 auto protection company, CarShield. Call 800-861-6176 or visit carshield.com today. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
You never know where he's going to go, do you?
One shining moment.
Yeah. The women crowned a national championship yesterday. Tonight it's the men. KTR Sports Director Brendan Weesey is here to talk sports, and I hope tonight's game is better than yesterday. UCLA blew out South Carolina, which was a complete shock for so many, but this is the first championship for UCLA.
Yeah, I think it's the first championship technically in the Big Ten. It's still hard to think of UCLA as a Big Ten team.
No, it doesn't count.
But they are in the conference, so we'll see if that leads to another Big Ten team here tonight in the Michigan Wolverines. They're the heavy favorite against Connecticut. But UConn.
What's the spread?
Is it 6.5, 7 points?
Huh.
It's sizable for, I think, a championship
Probably.
game.
But then you have UConn, who never lost a national championship, right?
This is what they do, Heidi. And for Dan Hurley, he's looking for 3 championships in 4 years. This is by far his best coaching job with, I think, I don't want to call it an inferior roster, but inferior compared to the teams that he had cut the nets down just a couple of years ago. Obviously, the stunning comeback against Duke, and then what they did to Illinois. Illinois, I thought, had a lot of open looks Saturday, and they just didn't make them. And
we said when we talked, we said they had to hit a high percentage and high volume, and they just didn't do it.
And they're not equipped with the way their offense runs to easily come back in games. They played a deliberate tempo. They had a shot, I feel like, again, a situation where they used expended a lot of their energy in coming back, and they just weren't quite able to close the deal.
Yeah. Did you see that Hurley is going to be wearing the same jacket? And he said he would be grimy.
I think the lining on his jacket
is coming apart, and he didn't want to touch it.
To the tailor after the season.
But you can't mess with it right now.
Right. Oh yeah, too many good vibes to mess with it at this point.
What are we hearing? Anything about Lindenborg's injury? That I think could be the factor. Can he play at close to 100%? Now, they didn't need him on Saturday, but although he provided, 9 or 11 points, whatever it was, in only a few minutes of play. But he is their best player.
So I think they fully expect him to play, but like you said, Rammer, is he anywhere close to 100%? And that, I don't know. And I think it could be problematic. I think for UConn and Michigan, they have similar styles. Michigan has better players, and I think they're better. They've got better offensive efficiency. But for UConn and the way they're playing right now, and their young freshman, that Mullins kid, like if you get him in sync right now, shooting the 3, very dangerous. The St. Louis Reed, who has, I think up until Saturday had been the MVP of the NCAA tournament. He's obviously someone to watch tonight. Again, I think Michigan is the better team, but we'll see if they've had some injuries all throughout the tournament, and with Lindenborg here tonight, he is maybe the most consequential.
I kind of think Michigan can guard the UConn threes. Can they reciprocate that? Can they guard UConn's threes? And if they can, then it'll be a battle.
I think so too. Should be a great game. Love the fact that it tips off a little earlier than it used to. I think 7:30-ish for the opening tip tonight in the national championship.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming and an awfully fun tournament on both sides. Let's talk about the Blues beating Colorado.
Another one last night. The combination of Robert Thomas and Jimmy Snuggerud right now is off the charts. I think the Blues, as has been the case before in this spot, you look at the rest of the league, and you can say the Blues are playing as well as anybody else in the National Hockey League. So if they were to somehow back their way into the playoffs, they're going to be an incredibly difficult out. They've got to get there first, and you got 6 games left. It's, again, you feel like you've got to go out there and win every single night. But the last couple where they had some bad vibes at the beginning of last week, remember those tough losses against the Kings and the Sharks?
You hope that 2-second loss that could have been at least 1 point. You hope you don't come up a point short.
That's, yeah.
And add Dylan Holloway to that top line. And the National guys were really complimentary. That line is playing as well as anybody, any line in the league right now.
Thomas with his, kind of surprised that it was his first career hat trick last night, but he's been incredible. And that was, again, it's a Colorado team that, I mean, you know what to expect from those guys, and they've given the Blues problems seemingly every single year. They'll get them again tomorrow night at home. So we'll see if there isn't a little revenge in store for the Avalanche, or if the Blues can continue this run and just hang in there.
Yeah.
Any loss feels like it'd be a massive setback, but every time they win, you just inch a little bit closer.
So true. And then the Cardinals pulled out a win last night.
Really nice win. Jordan Walker, just a tremendous weekend for him, even though overall the ball club loses 2 games. The grand slam he hit on Saturday, you start to watch him, and I'm going to say this right now, and I'll continue to say it. If Jordan Walker, if he's elevating his game even just a little bit, it makes anything else that happens this year worth it. They can go out there and win 60 ball games. If Jordan Walker's an all-star, this season has been a success.
Yeah, and I'll admit, I was wrong. It's taken a while, but I thought, man, maybe they should even leave him at AAA all year, just leave him alone. But they didn't, and the fact that they've elevated him up in the lineup already, I talked to Ollie last week, and he said that's not something he normally does, but they're seeing something in him.
No doubt about it.
What's coming up tonight? You got 5 seconds.
We've got a big sports show at 7 o'clock. Frank at 6 here on the Big 550.
We'll be listening. Thanks
Heidi.
Brendan.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. New details on the rescues of the missing airmen this weekend after the fighter jet went down in Iran. President Trump commending military teams and also says the colonel was trained to evade capture.
He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location.
ABC's Karen Travers says the president continues to threaten Iran with a deadline to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
What we're hearing from him now is a more firm deadline, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, and more specifics about what will happen if there is no deal by that point. He says in a 4-hour window between 8 p.m. tomorrow night and midnight, the United States will strike at Iran's power plants and bridges. He says every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
Retired General and former NATO Supreme Allied Commander Wesley Clark says it raises questions on the rules of engagement for civilian targets.
So if it's purely for civilians, then it's off limits. If it's being used for military purposes, then depends on the legal review. It can be struck.
The historic lunar flyby happening now. Earlier, the Artemis II crew breaking the distance record for human space travel. That was set by Apollo 13 in 1970. The commander of that mission, astronaut Jim Lovell, recorded a message in 2025 before he died, his voice greeting the crew today.
Hello, Artemis II. This is Apollo astronaut Jim Lovell. Welcome to my old neighborhood.
Tonight, the crew will briefly lose communications as the capsule passes around the dark side of the moon. Here's former astronaut Susan Kilrain.
They're going to continue observing, continue photographing, annotating what they're seeing on the moon, the colors, how bright everything is or how not bright it is.
You're listening to ABC News.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. The one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. 3 people are dead, another person injured, following a house explosion late last night in unincorporated Madison County. The big explosion was followed by several smaller explosions around 11:18 last night in the 8000 block of West Kirsch Road, about 2 miles south of Troy, Illinois. When first responders arrived, they located one individual with significant burns who was transported to a St. Louis hospital. Firefighters later found 3 people inside the home. They were pronounced dead at the scene. A few other residents were able to escape the house without injuries. Neighbors say the family was renting the home. The cause of the explosion remains under investigation. Missouri's general municipal election will be held tomorrow. KTRS' Jill Enders has the story.
Voters will be heading to the polls tomorrow for Missouri's general municipal election. Among the key ballot issues in St. Louis City is Proposition E. The ballot measure asks if voters should renew the city's longstanding 1% earnings tax. Meanwhile, voters in several other communities will cast ballots for mayoral, aldermanic, and city council races. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
Purple Up Day is celebrated in April every year to honor military children and their families. More from KTRS's Steve Potter.
This year's Purple Up Day is celebrated by groups on different days through April, and according to Missouri Commissioner of Education, Dr. Carla Essinger, the day is about recognizing the unique challenges that military children face, such as frequent relocations, the changing of schools and friends, and the emotional impact of having their parents deployed.
Military families make many sacrifices for our nation. So please join me in thanking our military children for their strength and sacrifice by wearing purple April 8th to show our appreciation to all military families.
Local organizations and businesses will be hosting events in collaboration with military bases and schools. There will also be art, essay, and poetry contests through the month. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. The Grafton Ferry will open later this week with expanded hours and year-round service between St. Charles County and the city of Grafton. A ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the opening is Friday morning. Now, this look at the markets is brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings, 9 to 11. Dow Jones jumped up 165 to finish at 46,669. NASDAQ up 117 to close at 21,996. S&P 500 up 29 points to close at 6,611. Time now to check sports and traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
Sobe, the Cardinals continue their road trip tonight as they get the Nationals in Washington, D.C. Yesterday, the Birds pounded out 6 hits, all being singles, in a 5-3 winner over the Tigers in Detroit. It salvaged a contest in that 3-game series. And last night, Robert Thomas accounted for all the offense with his first career hat trick as the Blues rallied to beat the Avalanche in Denver 3-2. With the win, the Note finds itself just 3 points out of the final playoff spot in the West. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. An accident on 70 West past 141 is blocking the 2 left lanes and causing a backup to St. Charles Rock Road. 370 West is heavy from 270 to 141. 270 South is congested from 64 to Manchester. And we have the usual slowdowns on 64 West and front of Forest Park and on 55 South in South City. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. KTRS weather tonight, cloudy, overnight low of 40. Tomorrow, cloudy, high of 55. Warm up on Wednesday, partly cloudy, high of 73. And Thursday, partly cloudy, high of 77. Right now, 63 degrees under sunny skies. The time is 5:08. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Meet me at the Village Bar. Ready for the world's best cheeseburger, homemade onion rings, trashed wings? It's the Village Bar for food and sports. Cards, blues, Mizzou, NFL, the game's always on. Open 7 days a week in De Pere. Grab your friends, grab a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, this is so exciting. Drones are now ready to carry blood from Springfield to St. Louis for organ donations. Kevin Lee, President and CEO of Mid-America Transplant, joins us with that remarkable story. And thank you so much for making time for us. It's great to see you.
Appreciate the opportunity to be with you today. Thank you.
So up until now, blood samples were carried how to test if an organ was viable for someone?
Yeah, so after a family authorizes organ donation, then the next thing we do is ask for permission to do a blood draw. And we want that blood sample to be brought back to our lab here in the city of St. Louis so we can test for medical eligibility or suitability for that organ donor, because we need to make sure that we're putting organs that are safe for transplant into the system for those waiting recipients. Historically, for the last 10 years, we've used primarily fixed-wing aircraft out of Spirit Airport. So a King Air turboprop would fly down to Springfield, pick up that 2-pound blood sample, and then fly it back to Spirit, and then a courier would bring it down to our laboratories.
2 pound. It's not like you're doing a little vial.
It's 4 vials in a little box that weighs just about 2 pounds.
So a whole plane for that. While it's it's worth it to get it done, but is there a better way?
That's the question exactly, Bob. Is there a better way, a more efficient way that we could do this? So in 2022, 2023, we started hearing out in West Texas, they were developing a medical use case to use fixed-wing drones beyond visual line of sight, so up to 100 miles, to explore how they might support rural hospitals. And a few organ procurement organizations like Mid-America Transplant were beginning to really research that and see if this was a more efficient way to move these valuable blood samples up and down the 44 corridor.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about the time sensitivity. How quickly do you need to get that blood sample back here?
Well, time is of the essence because we want to make sure that we're respectful of the family who's lost their loved one, and we'll be making funeral arrangements at that time. The sooner that we get that blood sample to our lab and we're able to begin that testing, the sooner we'll be able to begin allocating those organs in the national system moving forward.
And you hear about drones on the battlefield. You hear about drones delivering, your Walmart groceries. Are these drones that are set on a course, a path, and you hit a button and then it shows up? Or is there someone with a joystick flying from Springfield to St. Louis?
So the drones will be based out of Rolla at the Rolla Airport.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle, with our partnership with Missouri S&T. The flight routes have all been pre-programmed. And right now the FAA has given this waiver to fly over uninhabited parts of the state of Missouri because we need to build up a use case to demonstrate that this is a safe way of moving these blood samples. So drone operator could be here in your studio, is monitoring that drone fly a predetermined flight path, which has, if there's any little system failure, there's redundant engine systems, but if one was to fail, it has an automatic landing spot where either a local fire department or a courier will immediately retrieve that blood sample, But then if the drone can fly in light rain and up to 30-mile-per-hour winds, and obviously we don't want to launch it or set it off if it's going to be under extreme weather conditions. But if it begins to hit 30 miles per hour, it'll immediately land at a safe, predetermined spot.
So, under perfect conditions, how much time do you foresee this saving you relative to the King Air?
Yeah, so at fully optimal, we see it saving us about 30 minutes. But the real key savings is we believe the cost will be 1/10.
Yeah, I was going to say,
the King Air.
Has to be.
Wow.
So the early projections, and we're a small part of what Valkyrie UAS is trying to do in the state of Missouri is organ donation, but we believe the early estimates are that round-trip drone cost will be about $1,200 compared to this $11,000 to $12,000. It's a tenth of a cost.
Wow.
And so we'll pass those savings on to all organizations associated with organ donation and transplant moving forward. And it's a really exciting way to see if we can't build this use case to then support the hospitals in Poplar Bluff or in Kinnett or in Cape Girardeau or Hannibal.
Well, I was going to ask, why Springfield? What is it about Springfield to St. Louis that is so viable here?
Well, Springfield is an incredibly generous community when it comes to organ donation. And each year, it's our honor and privilege to work with over 75 organ donors from that community.
Wow.
And so when we think about or examine where that King Air is flying, it most frequently is going to Springfield. And so flying along this 44 corridor makes the most sense for us from a mission perspective.
Because you also, that Springfield area serves a lot of other areas. It's not just Springfield proper there.
Absolutely. So there's about 490,000 in the metropolitan service area, but they receive, since they have 2 level 1 trauma centers, they receive referrals from Oklahoma, Kansas, all over Arkansas and Missouri as well.
We're talking to Kevin Lee, President and CEO of Mid-America Transplant, and we're talking about drones ready to now fly blood samples from Springfield to St. Louis. But is this the first drone pathway dedicated to healthcare in the country?
That's our understanding. This is the first FAA waiver that's been granted in the U.S. to support medical use case.
So we spoke to you in May of 2024.
Yes, sir.
And you told us that the future of transplant, delivering transplants is by drone. What happened in those 2 years that now we're here?
Yeah, so a lot of that had to do with our ongoing conversations with the FAA and making sure that drone was safe to use within the U.S. and that they were comfortable with launching that drone and having us launch it on a regular basis. So that meant we had to put additional safety measures in there. The drone issues a beacon so that other aircraft in the area would note that it's there. Although it won't fly above 400 feet, they still want to be able to track that. Moving forward. But the FAA wants to move and we understand and completely support that from a public safety perspective. They want to move very cautiously in this area. So the drone is 11 feet wide.
That's what I was
It's 8 feet long. It weighs up to 40 pounds. It's traveling up to 90 miles per hour at 400 feet. If something were to go wrong, that
could be a problem.
It could be a problem.
Yeah.
And so that's why this next part of the use case is to begin flying samples to the outside areas of St. Louis and Springfield. And then as we prove that it is safe, build up these flight hours, we'll be allowed to move closer into the city.
So you're going to hear our audience. It'll be palpable. You can hear it through the building because I always ask nerd stuff.
Sure.
That's really interesting to me. So you mentioned you tried that the path has to go over non-populated areas, but we're in once you get to St. Louis County, it's all populated.
Yeah.
So where does the drone go, and how do we navigate that?
So right now the drone is landing out at St. Albans at the fire department. And so that's the initial launch site.
Yeah.
We're very grateful for the chief out there and the fire department for partnering with us. And then it'll land in Springfield and Stafford, just outside. So we need to bring it outside. Many people don't realize, but the largest fleet of non-military drones in the U.S. is owned by BSNF, the railroad company. And they use drones each day to check the integrity of their rail lines. And so flying over rivers or rail lines, these are accepted areas. Moving forward, obviously, we've had to have a lot of conversations, our partner Valkyrie UAS has had a lot of conversations with Fort Leonard Wood. The U.S. military wouldn't be real excited about having drones fly anywhere close to their property as well. But yeah, so we're mapping out a course that takes us over uninhabited areas as we build up these flight hours. But Josh, to your earlier question, it is a young man who has he's gotten a drone license at the local community college. And he has a pre-programmed course there on his laptop. He is in Rolla, but he could be doing it from anywhere.
It is so exciting. We're talking to Kevin about these drones, and I'm wondering, like, as far if we're on the ground and we look up, I mean, will we see them? Are they flying at that low a level that we'll go, what is this?
You would see it, yeah. It would look quite small and strange to you. It's a little different than what you might see at a local 5K or a community event, which is an octocopter, which is up and buzzing around. So the drone has a vertical lift, goes straight up about 100, 150 feet. It circles twice, and then the program takes control, and it flies on the flight pattern.
So we were supposed to do the inaugural flight last Wednesday, and I think the weather got in the way.
Yep.
Have we flown one yet?
Well, the day before the inaugural flight, we flew a 10-mile leg.
Okay.
And we've flown several 5- and 10-mile legs through that course between Rolla and St. Albans. On the 13th, we go up for a 60-mile leg.
So this is fascinating. This is the future, but let's go back into the past. I guess I just assumed that organ transplant and donation, that was all handled by the hospital. But Mid-America Transplant, you guys are third party. How does that work?
Yeah, so the federal government, Health and Human Services, designates an organ procurement organization for each geography in the U.S. And so it's our privilege to work with about 51 counties in Missouri, 5 counties in Northeast Arkansas, and 28 counties in Southern Illinois. Those 124 hospitals in those counties, they partner with us. And when someone gets to the end of life or goals of care conversations, then the hospital calls their local OPO, and we go on site in the background to evaluate someone for medical suitability for organ donation.
Well, and just a reminder, if you do become a organ donor, you can save how many lives?
We can save up to 8 lives through solid organ donation. You can impact between 75 and 150 lives through tissue donation, so skin, cornea, bone, other gifts of tissue.
Yeah, it really is a remarkable gift if you can do it.
It's incredible, and there are 1,400 people in our community, in our region, waiting for a life-saving solid organ transplant today. We are fortunate to live in a community with world-class medicine.
And then just on a practical question, when someone becomes an organ donor and they do pass away, they're harvested on site. Can the funeral happen just a couple days later, or does it take time to do all this?
So we recover those gifts. It generally takes for organ donation between 48 and 60 hours to recover the solid organs and arrange for the transplant teams to come in and prepare the grateful recipients moving forward. You still can have reconstructive embalming, so you can have an open casket or an open viewing if you wish as well, and that includes tissue donation. But it takes about 48 to 60 hours on average to make sure that those gifts end up, we refer to the organs as gifts.
I know, I was going to say, I really like your verbiage.
Yeah. So they are gifts.
They are the best gifts you could possibly ever give.
It's the most selfless act in the world. And with all the things we have going on in the world, every day, regular Americans save the lives of complete strangers through this act, and it's really humbling.
And is this just the thing that I've got on my driver's license, or is there something more that we do to make sure that
no, sir, it is on your driver's license. 98% of Americans sign up at the DMV, but we really would ask that those who love you and care about you, you share with them in advance that your desire to be an organ donation, so that when our team approaches them in the hospital, they're going to be in the midst of the grief because they've lost you, and that's going to be incredibly emotional for them, so they know how to honor your wishes.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Lee, this has been an honor to chat with you, and just keep up the great work and being on the forefront of what is happening, with medicine here.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's a privilege to serve our community.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry, or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
Can I get serious for a moment? Something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is my front yard and taking care of your front yard. Because when you drive by someone's house and it's full of weeds, you think to yourself, oh man, it's very, very simple. You know how much I love to pretend to be a yard dork. You know what I use? Fertilome. I go to fertilome.com and I type in my zip code, and a whole host of local independent lawn and garden dealers show up. I buy the Crabgrass Preventer Plus Lawn Food. It's the spring application. I get it down on my yard as soon as possible, and that greens up my yard and keeps the weeds away. So it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. But really, all I'm doing is getting Fertilome and putting it on my front yard. And that will take care of my yard for many, many, many weeks, and it go a long way to having the greenest yard in the block. So this spring, you want to green up your yard and get rid of the weeds? It all starts at Fertilome or fertilome.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The big, beautiful tax bill passed. Do you know how these changes will affect your financial plan? What changes has your financial advisor made to take advantage of these opportunities before they expire? Join me, Kevin Lloyd, for my next tax workshop, 314-641-1010. Learn how these changes can benefit you and your family. 314-641-1010.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPLA, registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.
Game day comfort steps up to the plate Saturday, April 11th, when the Cardinals face the Boston Red Sox downtown. That night, fans can score a Cardinals dugout hoodie presented by Mercy, built for cool nights, late innings, and early season baseball. It's a classic, easy-to-wear layer you'll reach for all year long. Available in medium or extra large while supplies last. Don't miss this spring matchup. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fredbird and games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
So here's the deal. If you're driving around and you've got some dings and dents and you start to notice them now a little bit more because the sun is out and you're driving, wait a minute, hold on, I didn't see that before. Guess what? You need to get to Dents Express. They've got 2 locations on Manchester, in Baldwin, and in St. Charles. Whether it's dent removal, hail damage, minor collision, they'll work with your insurance company, handle all the paperwork, and then when it's ready, they'll come call you and you can come pick up the car for 30-plus years. Dents Express. STL.com.
You're listening to The Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
As President Trump's deadline approaches, ceasefire plan has been rejected by Iran. Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent in Jerusalem, joins us with the latest. First of all, how are you?
I'm okay. I mean, it wasn't a great Passover holiday.
Yeah.
The weekend wasn't easy. You know, there's been a lot of Iranian strikes across the country, and unfortunately some that are, no defense system is hermetic, and there are some missiles getting through. There were 4 people killed in Haifa, a city in Israel's north, because of a direct hit by a ballistic missile. And, we've been in and out of the bomb shelters. Mm-hmm. But, in a crazy way, we're all trying to adapt and find pockets of, normalcy where we can, right? So we know we're making it through.
Yeah. What do you know about this ceasefire plan being rejected?
So, it's so hard to take the Iranians seriously, their public claims, because there always seems to be a different story behind the scenes, right? So we thought that the Iranians had rejected the ceasefire plan, but in fact, we learned, from President Trump's press conference today that the Iranians basically already sent back a response with their changes or what they want at the table. So they have not. They're involved in the negotiating process, which is not what you would think from the headlines and from what some are saying in the Iranian state-linked media, right? That Iran rejects it. They didn't wholeheartedly reject it because they sent back something that it doesn't look like will really work, right? But it does show that the Iranians, who love to drag out negotiations for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months, miraculously, right? Because they're under fire in this war, within a few days, they actually handed back a proposal to the United States. Again, will it be good enough? It sounds like for President Trump, it's not good enough. Will they work on another draft in the next 24 hours? They still have 24 hours until President Trump's deadline hits, right? Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Maybe the Iranians will work on another version of it. So, I think the long answer is I think the Iranians they are engaged.
Jordana, how would you characterize the response and reactions of Israeli leadership relative to what the U.S. Has been doing, let's say, over the last 4 or 5 days, or since we last talked to you last week?
Well, again, I think the Israelis are, really fighting this war with the United States leading and Israel playing its part and really in sync. I don't think there is a lot of daylight. The Israelis understand that when President Trump decides the war is over, it's over, right? Does the Israeli Prime Minister have reservations about a ceasefire deal with Iran that would, for example, leave the enriched uranium under the ground? Yes. Does he have reservations about a deal that still allows the Iranians to rebuild their nuclear capabilities? Yes. Right. Or their ballistic missiles? Yes. But the most I think that the Israeli Prime Minister can do is put his views on the table, and President Trump, will, take them into consideration. But ultimately, he makes a decision that he thinks is best for the United States. And so, I think they're still operating really closely in close cooperation. Even we saw through the miraculous rescue operation of the pilot and the navigator, where we know the Israelis helped with intelligence and likely played a larger role than we're even told, because both the Israeli Prime Minister and the Defense Minister really implied that the Israelis were, they played a decent role in how that rescue operation, was handled. We don't know if that means there were Israeli special ops on the ground, but Israel is really known for rescue operations, right? If you think about Entebbe, the rescue operation of the Israeli hostages, more than 100 of them taken by Palestinian militants right on a flight, and they were in Entebbe in Uganda. And that rescue operation, which, if you remember, the Israelis disguised the whole rescue team in a car that was meant to look like part of the Ugandan state, right? Part of the official caravan, right? So, and by the way, Netanyahu's brother led that rescue mission, and he was the only one of the Israelis killed in that operation. So it could be that the Israelis helped conceive or plan the rescue operation. But certainly, there was a joint effort there. So I don't see a lot of daylight. Of course, the Israelis are worried that maybe the Iranians won't be able to live up to anything that they agree to on paper if they're desperate under the circumstances of the war. But as people behind the scenes continue to tell us, every day for the Israelis could be the last day of the war, and they are grateful to have the president in this operation where they can degrade the regime and really try to reduce the existential threat that the regime poses to Israel, and it's danger to the region.
Yeah. Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent there in Jerusalem. We always appreciate your insight. Thank you so much. Stay safe.
Thanks so much. Talk soon.
It is 5:33. Let's check back in with Captain Paul, see how traffic's moving along.
Heidi, all of the accidents have cleared, and we're just left with a little slow traffic. 370 West is heavy from St. Louis Mills to 141. 64 West is busy from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker. And in Illinois, 64 East is congested from 255 to a mile past 157. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
What was the temperature today? Like 65, I think. I got to tell you, that is the perfect temperature for RVing because you can have the windows down. You can hear kind of the wind. You can hear the birds in the morning. You don't even need an alarm clock. I mean, RVing is whatever you want it to be. And if you're like Josh, you don't like the sound of birds or babies laughing, then...
Well, she's got a mean memory.
Oh, they were so loud this morning.
You can close those windows and you can go maybe to a beach or to the mountains or just get away to a small town you've never seen before because there are so many options when it comes to RVing. And that's what Byerly RV knows, that they're offering you a way to get out and see this beautiful country like you've never seen it before. So often we're flying over some of the coolest parts. And with an RV, you just pull in and stay for the night if you want to and then head on down the road. As I often say, it's not necessarily the destination in your RV. It is the journey. And being in an RV makes it so much more enjoyable. Byerly RV has more than 30 brands of new RVs in stock, travel trailers, fifth wheels, camper vans, both gas and diesel motorhomes, and they have a great selection of used inventory as well. So check them out online, ByerlyRV.com, or swing by the dealership there in Eureka. You can't miss Byerly at 109 and 44.
All right, I got to tell you, since Heidi brought it up, I've got an owl update. So I bought one of these fake plastic owls.
Oh, I thought you were saying a real one because I heard something outside today and we don't even open the windows and I'm like, is that an owl? It sounded a little different.
Not a mourning dove.
No, was not a mourning dove, which I think that sounded more like a mourning dove.
We know what those are.
Yes.
Mourning dove. All right, so I hung up this
better than singing.
Yeah. Hung up this plastic owl right where they normally do their bird's nest and where they've been, pooping on my deck. And what I've noticed over the weekend, I've been monitoring the situation. They no longer fly to that post. They've moved 2 posts over.
So you're going to get another owl.
So now I guess I'm going to have to hang owls on every post, and they'll be like wind chimes. But Finn, we were driving to my mom's today. He's off for Easter Monday. And he said, Daddy, you know that owl that we got? I said, yeah. He goes, I just saw one in somebody else's house. See? We'll have to go see if they've got bird poop on their deck, too.
Great story about Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. One of the wives called up and said, hey, we need an electrician. Call Michael Baldy. And the husband said, no, I can do it. Well, the wife overrode the husband, called up Michael Baldy at 314-968-9999. Maybe she checked the website first, baldyelectric.com. So Michael Baldy came out to the house. While he was at the house, the husband says, well, since you're here, I've got 3 or 4 other jobs for you. It turned out to be an all-day affair. They took care of everything. And so, no, the husband couldn't get it done. Good thing the wife called Baldy Electric, and now the whole house is fixed because of one simple phone call to Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. Indoor, outdoor, brand new commercial building, an old Victorian home, it doesn't matter. Michael Baldy and his team of electricians will take care of you. 314-968-9999, Baldy Electric, or baldyelectric.com.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit cantorinjurylaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You know that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
A single flood can cost you nearly $60,000. In the St. Louis region, if it rains where you live, it can flood where you live. MSD Project Clear wants you to know your zone. Knowing your flood zone means you can act early, protect your property, and avoid devastating losses. Don't wait until it's too late. Only flood insurance covers flood damage. Visit knowyourzone.org now.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, I want to do some entertainment news, but I also just want to say how much I appreciate our listeners. Somebody said there are 2 species of owls in Missouri that you normally hear, the great horned owl and the barred owl. I mean, I just love that you guys are a part of the show and so smart. The Super Mario Galaxy movie, did you end up going?
We did.
And what'd you think?
I thought it was great.
Okay.
For a 5-year-old.
Oh, you didn't like it as an adult?
No, it was fine. It was fine.
Finn liked it?
Finn loved it.
Okay.
So Connor shared a review from some, uptight British, London Times guy. And he said the Super Mario Galaxy movie might be the end of cinema as we know it.
Oh, boy. Well, it's not according to the box office. It made $190.1 million domestically over the 5-day Easter weekend.
It was fun.
That's all it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Right? Dan Levy was on CBS Sunday Morning yesterday, and he said he was thinking of doing a follow-up to... By the way, CBS Sunday Morning said it every single time. Can we not say the name of the movie? I mean, the TV show,
I
Creek.
wouldn't. We all know.
Well, okay.
I wouldn't say it.
Anyway, he was thinking about doing a follow-up or a sequel before Catherine O'Hara passed away in January. He said there's no way they can ever do it now without her. Yeah, which is true. He broke up, and they were back on the set there, and it was a really sweet moment.
He teared up.
Yeah. I did not realize that he wrote or co-wrote.
The whole thing.
Created. Yeah.
That was his project, and he brought his dad in.
Yes, which is really cool.
And wasn't the sister? Isn't his sister on the show?
I think she was at some point.
Okay.
Yes.
Did CBS, when they said the name of the show, also, they have the ability to flash on screen the written version, which might get them out of...
cleans it up.
Yeah.
Not every time, though.
Out of the FCC thing.
They did not. They did not. They said it 3 or 4 times, and I thought, well, why do we always dance around it.
I can take my chance.
It's spelled differently. Tori Spelling and 7 children were taken to the hospital following a 2-car accident Thursday night in California. 4 of the kids were hers. The other 3 were friends. Sources say their vehicle was hit by a car that was speeding and ran a red light, but no arrests were made at the scene. Tori and the kids were treated for various injuries, bruises, contusions, concussions, but were all released from the hospital that night, which is great. To go back to that show real quickly, he said it had to be named that the producers and the powers that be really did not want the TV show to be called Blank Creek, and he said he goes, what else could it be called? Like, that had to be the name of it. So I kind of thought that was cool the way he fought for that.
I mean, frankly, the name has garnered it a lot of extra attention.
Yes.
And then when people actually watch the show, they say, oh, this is great.
Yes. Meryl Streep finally shared who she imitates for her character in The Devil Wears Prada.
It's not Anna Wintour?
It is not Anna Wintour. She said if Mike Nichols and Clint Eastwood had a baby, it would be Miranda Priestley.
She wears the Mike Nichols glasses.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Which is kind of funny. Lisa Kudrow bluntly acknowledged that she's not the most popular character on Friends. She said, basically was speaking about the iconic character, Phoebe, in a recent interview saying nobody cared about me. There were certain parts of my talent agency that just referred to me as the 6th friend. That's right.
I mean, I hate to say it, but
however,
kinda.
She did win an Emmy in 1998 in the Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series category for her performance. Anyway, she said that many people didn't think she'd have longevity in Hollywood. There was no vision for me, no expectations about the kind of career I could have. There was just like, boy, she's lucky that she got on that show.
Well, certainly she is because
Yeah.
she made a lot of money. But have you ever seen her in a dramatic role?
She's fantastic.
She's very, very good actress.
Yeah, she is.
Going back to the Mario movie and The Devil Wears Prada, we get to the theater, St. Streets of St. Charles, and my wife was going to buy. Have you seen these popcorn bucket things?
Yes. With the purse and then there's the, yes.
So my wife was going to buy this giant Yoshi that carries the popcorn, and then that'll be $45 before you buy the $19 popcorn. And she said, forget about it. But she and her girlfriends are going to see The Devil Wears Prada.
And she's going to get that
and
one.
she's going to get the purse popcorn.
Yeah. Guaranteed. A couple people on the text line. Is it Twila? The waitress is his sister. I don't know how to say her name properly on the
Blanks Creek.
Yes. It's hard to imagine some of music's biggest hits being sung by anyone else, but here's a list of some popular songs that were originally intended for someone else, which I love this. Umbrella by Rihanna. It was offered.
No, Umbrella.
I think you mean Rella.
Umbrella.
Rella.
It was offered to Britney Spears, then to Mary J. Blige, and eventually Rihanna.
Great job.
Baby One More Time was meant for TLC, and then Britney Spears ended up getting
Launched
it.
on one, got the other.
Right? Hungry Heart by Bruce Springsteen. He wrote it for the Ramones. I can't imagine that.
Ew.
Can
That's
you?
Interesting.
All right. Blondie.
How would they have even played that, Bob?
They've been completely different.
Yeah.
Call Me by Blondie was offered to Stevie Nicks, which I could hear her singing that too.
Okay. They're both blonde singers. Are they not?
Folks, if you weren't watching, Heidi and I both did a
Yeah.
comedy take.
No, they heard you roll your eyes. It was obvious.
They were rolling their eyes with us. Since You've Been Gone for Kelly Clarkson, it was first offered to Pink, then to Hilary Duff. And that made her, kind of one of her first hits, right?
That's a great song.
The Long and Winding Road,
Yeah.
Beatles, Paul McCartney wrote it and offered it to Tom Jones.
I could see it. I bet Tom Jones ended up covering it, too.
Probably did, and he would be great at it, but
Yeah.
it's the Beatles.
All About That Bass, Meghan Trainor.
Yeah.
Megan co-wrote it, offered it to several artists, including Beyonce. I can never see Beyonce singing that song.
No, it's a silly song, but it's catchy.
Yes. And then How Will I Know was actually written for Janet Jackson. Of course, Whitney Houston made it famous.
Whitney was so good. I can't imagine somebody
Anybody
else.
singing that. Carrie Underwood solved the secret to staying grounded in the entertainment industry. She says it's all about faith. She said, you're kind of in a self-serving business. kind of. Everybody around you is there to make sure you're good, you're happy, you have everything you need, and I feel like you can start to lose your roots really fast. So I think faith is the only thing that can keep you grounded. So
that's a good take.
Yes, it is. 34 years ago today, in 1992, Barney and Friends debuted on PBS.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What a black day for America.
Wait, Bob, your kids, were they Barney aged?
They watched it, but they
I love you.
No, stop.
You love me.
Oh, you're going to tell me I'm a bad singer.
I didn't say I was good. You think you're good. As far as TV tonight, the NCAA National Championship game is on TBS, TNT, True TV. Of course, Michigan hosts the UConn Huskies. You got American Idol. The top 12 perform 90 songs selected by the judges, and then The Voice. It's part 2 of the knockouts. Let's do a couple birthdays if we have some.
I got 3.
Okay.
And I could do more if you want, but I got 3 I really like. He was Ant-Man. He played Phoebe's husband.
Paul Rudd.
Yes, Paul Rudd.
I think he did the back-to-back movies. He played the same character, Knocked Up, and This Is 40.
Yeah.
I love both of those movies.
He's good.
I never saw This Is 40.
He seems like a
so
good guy, too.
He
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It's really good. You'd like it because, well, we don't have time to get into it. Because you would identify with it.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Hiding in the bathroom to play Wordle and check out their fantasy football.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I totally relate.
How old's Paul? Oh, go ahead.
Well, hang on. Speaking of Friends, speaking of Paul Rudd, Connor told me a story that at the Friends rap party.
Was he there? Connor?
No.
Okay.
He was telling me a story about Paul Rudd. And Paul was Phoebe's boyfriend in that last season, so he happened to be on set the last day of filming because he was there that season. And they all kind of got together one last time, and Paul Rudd kind of walked over and goes, "How about this, guys?"
Yeah.
And they all told him, get out of here.
He seems like he's a good jokester. I'd say he's 57.
I bet I'll say he's 56, but he looks 36.
Well, we're not talking about looks.
Heidi Glaus? Bang. Got it. 57 years old.
She saw it on the
No,
Today
I
Show
did
this
not. No, I did not.
I'm using this guy because I had a chance to meet him. He was so nice.
Love
and
that.
so generous with his time. He's a character actor, but you see him, he's in every movie. Michael Rooker, Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yep.
Walking Dead. He was the bad guy in Mississippi Burning, Gene Hackman.
He goes back a long way,
He
too.
goes back. He's so good in everything, Michael Rooker.
I'm going to say he's 63.
I'm going to say 68.
He's 71.
Whoa.
Stays in great shape. And finally, one of my favorites, we know her from Taxi and really became famous because everybody knows she has remembered everything in her whole life.
Oh.
Mary Lou Henner.
Which is so, I don't know if that'd be good.
I forget so much. I'd kind of like to try.
Yeah. I'm going to say she is 77.
81.
74.
All right. That is your evening entertainment report here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. The one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
Scott, remember when the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Pile were flying around the arch selling flooring?
Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's about 5:52, and we got to get one last check of traffic from Captain Paul on this Monday.
Heidi, the exit ramp from 55 north to 4455 Gravois is closed due to an accident. An accident on 270 south before St. Charles Rock Road is blocking the two right lanes with the backup to 370. There's a crash on 44 west at 55. 370 west is heavy from St. Louis Mills to 141. And 64 west is a little busy in front of Forest Park. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
St. Louis, are you ready for playoff soccer? Your St. Louis Ambush are in the playoffs and ready for a run to the Major Arena Soccer League Championship. On Wednesday, April 8th at 7 p.m., your Ambush will battle cross-state rival, the Kansas City Comets, in the first round of the MASL playoffs. Check out the Family Night Special that includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 small popcorns, all for just $98. Tickets available at the Family Arena box office or at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, go to STLambush.com.
The big, beautiful tax bill passed. Do you know how these changes will affect your financial plan? What changes has your financial advisor made to take advantage of these opportunities before they expire? Join me, Kevin Lloyd, for my next tax workshop, 314-641-1010. Learn how these changes can benefit you and your family. 314-641-1010.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPLA, registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.
Hey, it's Josh, and I want to tell you about a dentist office, my dentist office, and their new location, now open in Lake St. Louis Dentistry. Dr. Landgraf and the group of dentists have been my dentists my entire life. They've been my parents' dentists for their entire lives, and you don't keep generation after generation of clients unless you're really good at what you do. Now with 3 locations, Florissant, Creve Coeur, and the new one, Lake St. Louis Dentistry, half-mile from 4064, and you can get an appointment today. Check out my dentist, LakeSt. Louis Dentistry.com.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's wrap this show up with a few randoms.
All right, the original 8 Jelly Belly flavors that were introduced in 1976. Are you ready?
Yep.
Go.
Lemon.
Ugh.
What?
I hate lemon.
Jen doesn't like lemon either.
I don't like lemonade. I don't like lemon anything.
You two are very strange.
I know, very.
Do you think it tastes
No,
like...
she agrees with you.
Ugh.
Is it like Pledge? Do you
No,
have a Pledge
well, I've never
association?
tasted Pledge, but no.
You smelled it.
I don't
like
mind the
Pledge?
lemon smell.
Is it like Pledge?
No, but I don't like the taste.
Like a lemon meringue.
No.
Okay. Root beer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Tangerine. Cream soda.
Oh, good one.
Uh-huh.
Green apple, which I hate.
Oh, I love the green apple.
Oh, I hate the sour apple. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pucker.
Licorice.
Ugh.
Grape.
Grape's
and
good.
Very cherry, which has been the most popular flavor of Jelly Belly since 2003.
Very cherry has?
Very
I
cherry.
like root beer.
I don't care for those. That I eat them. I think they're fine, but they're not my favorite.
Red is always the best, Bob. It's always the best. Well, I'll give you all my green apples for all your very cherries.
Deal. I win.
Hey, it's getting fleeced. The last time a left-handed catcher played in the major leagues was in 1989. Bob, due to the nature of the throws, Heidi, lefties struggle to play catcher.
When my nephew was playing baseball and he is left-handed and he wanted to be a catcher, it was so hard trying to explain.
To tell him no.
It's just not a position for you, buddy.
You can do it, but it's very difficult. You can't really do it at short or third.
Mm-hmm.
It says it's also very rare to see left-handed throwers at third base, shortstop, and second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and second, yeah.
You just got to turn
too much.
Yeah.
Your whole
Too
body.
much turning.
A lot of first
Now,
basemen.
my old man. Oh, well, you know who did a good job at it in the old man league is our friend Dan Buck.
Uh-huh.
Lefty.
But he's just so good. I hate him.
Yeah, I know.
No, he's great.
And archaeologists say that over 4,000 years ago, they have recorded the first ever customer complaint.
Get out.
Oh,
it was
please.
regarding the poor quality of copper.
All right, with that, we say good night, and thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for being a part of the show on the text line. Hopefully, you'll meet us back here starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow, and until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right, it's all right. Bet your money all you like, it's all right, it's all right.
Since 1974, Permajack of St. Louis has been helping residents